going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
What's up, True Heel Heat?
True Heel Heat.
What's up? True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for our WWE Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide 2025 review. Breaking down yesterday's two huge shows from Los Angeles, California, and my, oh my, what a difference 24 hours make as our truth. We wanted truth, and we got him, and you brought him back, and we're here to discuss the two shows from the Into Dome as well as the Kia Forum yesterday in Los Angeles. WWE delivered two very interesting and noteworthy shows, that's for damn sure, and we're here to break it all down for the first time, and I don't know how long. I don't remember the last time this guy was on a pay-per-view review with me, but I'm glad to have him since I missed out on doing Rated Raw review with him on Tuesday. He is back on the channel. It is the face and the ace of the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It's Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon. How are you doing?
Well, R-Truth was gone, so that meant I was gone, and I wasn't coming back until R-Truth came back. So R-Truth is back, good. I'm back. That's how it works. I went on strike.
You went on vacation when Liv Morgan filmed her movie, and then you didn't show up for Rated Raw review when R-Truth got his contract not renewed, right. And now you're back because both are back and both were on last night's show.
Sometimes you got to take a stand, SP3. You got to send a message.
I respect it. I said you brought Truth back, and I was talking about the fans, but I'm talking about Romeo.
It's good to be back.
Yes, glad to have you here. Glad to have all of you here. If you're watching us live, appreciate y'all. If you're watching us live, appreciate y'all. If you're watching us on demand, either way, show your appreciation back. The simplest play possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. Helps the YouTube algorithms and other folks like yourself see this video content that we do here on the True Heel YouTube channel. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family, and hit the subscribe button. If you are new, hit the bell to stay notified, because we go live here pretty much 5 to 7 times a week on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. So we always got some good content for you to enjoy. So hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. And of course, if you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about WWE AAA Worlds Collide, as well as WWE Money in the Bank. Who is your MVP, your LVP, your match of the night, in the comments down below if you're watching us on demand. And if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We'll love to interact with all of you and hear your thoughts on the ending to last night's show. What do you think about R-Truth's return? What do you think about the 2 new Money in the Bank winners, Jacob Fatu turning on Solo Sikoa, the Worlds Collide show with Vikingo and Chad Gable? We're going to discuss it all, but we want to hear from all of you. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. It goes a long way to help the channel grow and move forward. So we always appreciate the support. We got one of our members in the chat, I Make Beats, who says, hello, THH. Worlds Collide was a lot of fun. That main event and the four-man were great. Money in the Bank was okay. Enjoyed Lyra, Becky the most. Crashed out before the return of Ron. Yes, and yeah, I put R-Truth in the headline because it's easier to write, but it is not R-Truth, it's Ron the Truth Killings is back in WWE. Former TNA great, former NWA's World Heavyweight Champion. You need to join me and Chrissy. Me and Chrissy are talking about doing a TNA True Rewind.
Oh my god, I didn't even finish WCW. How am I gonna start TNA?
You never told me when you're ready to continue on the WCW road. We only made it to like the fall of 1996. We got like 5 more years to do.
I wish I had more time.
I do too.
Time in the world.
And kids are getting older and stuff out here. We got Santo here in the chat. We also got Vala, who's putting his foot down. Vala, one of our members of the chat and one of our moderators, who says, I'm not above banning people who come in to say it was all a work. If you want to think it was all a work, that is fine. When you're a dick about it, that is not fine. And that's some of the people that I've had to block today in my comment section. Because these people don't want to just say, I believe it. They won't say I believe his word. It's like, oh, you got worked. Oh, you got cooked. Oh, yeah. You believe in all these people. You're believing truth. You're believing his son. You're believing his cat. You're believing his dog. You're believing all the locker room and all the. It's like,
you're like me. You skip the mute button and go straight to block. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because then they can't respond. Like, that's the better way to do it. Like, if it was just like a minor misunderstanding, or they're saying stupid stuff that's not in my replies, then yeah, I usually go mute. But if they're being a dick about something, I go right to block. Once you try to insult my intelligence, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. I'm blocking you.
I don't even consider mute ever. Straight to block.
I respect it.
Even if you don't interact with me, even if I just see a bad take on scroll up on the timeline, blocked, so I don't have to see a bad take again.
That's fair. I go mute with those, but I totally understand. If you see, like, you and Jimmy would get along where y'all could just exchange stories, because Jimmy does that too. Jimmy tells me all the time. He was like, yeah, I saw this person with a bad take. Block.
Gone. Cleansing the timeline is what I did.
Valo says, that said, both shows for the most part were very enjoyable. We also got Greg Carter II, who says WWE shot themselves into a work, brother. well, yeah, they worked themselves into a shoot and then worked themselves out of into a work, basically.
And it's to one man who fixed things. It wasn't two men. Not that I'm hearing. It's one man.
The real con. The
Yep.
real con man.
It
The
wasn't
con
Mr.
man.
H.
Yeah, because from what I hear from everybody, Ron did not want to talk to Mr. H because of how he was told about his contract not being renewed.
Good stuff by Ron.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
you answer the phone call from Nick Khan, though.
It's exactly my missus. As soon as I told her in the morning, because she has friends that are still in the company that like hit her up about Truth coming back, and I told her this morning when I woke up, I was like, "Yeah, you saw our Truth is back," and she's like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yeah, one of my friends sent me that." She was like, "That's stupid. He should have told them no." I was like, "Well, from what I hear, he did tell them no a lot." And he did not want to talk to Triple H. It's not until Nick Khan called and she was like, "Okay, now I understand."
Good stuff by Nick.
Yeah, he's like, "I gotta step in. I gotta clean up your mess." Yep. Davion says, "What's up, THH in chat?" What's up? Very noteworthy weekend. Am I right? Indeed. We got Dion Jenkins who says, "I'm used to WWE lying to the fans, but fans trying other fans, trying to gaslight other fans into believing this was a work is ridiculous." It's because you have to understand, Dion, that WWE has lied to these fans so long that they won't believe that anything that happens is not under their control, or at least Triple H's control. They've been convinced so long that everything is a work that they don't believe that the fans could. Like when Matt Hardy came back, I remember the online sentiment and the wrestling fans that I knew. We took that as a W for us. Like we were the reason why Matt Hardy came back. Yeah. Even what, a year ago when Cody gets the main event at WrestleMania over The Rock, for the most part, I think over a year ago, fans were like, "Yeah, we made it happen. We want Cody, and we got Cody in the main event of WrestleMania." I don't know what's happened in the past year, but this Fran brain rot of them not believing that WWE could do anything wrong and that this was all a work to help 53-year-old Ron the Truth Killings become one of the biggest baby faces in the company. I'm baffled. I was baffled by the decision to let him go. And now I'm baffled by this type of reaction from some of these fans, Romeo.
Well, you brought up the fans, and the fans deserve credit for bringing Truth back, because he would have still been released if the outrage wasn't there on the shows and in the social media as well. Like you couldn't watch if you tried to watch the AAA stream on YouTube. All you saw was "We want Truth" repeated in the comments. Like it's just completely hijacked everything WWE. So it was the right move to bring him back. It was the wrong move to ever release him. I understand if you want to use him less or part-timer, and that's why you want to pay him less, but the fans releasing him or letting his contract run up and letting him go, that wasn't gonna fly. Not when it's public knowledge either.
Yeah.
Fans love him too much. He's too entertaining. The E in WWE stands for what? Entertainment. Oh, wow, weird. You kind of need that on your programming.
No, Chuck Berry's. No, you're not the only one that feel like they've been duped. A flat out rogue. I tell you, I call bullshit. LOL. There's a lot of fans that feel like they just got worked, but that's not what happened. They got themselves out of a predicament when it came to the fans. But I just don't understand why the fans just don't want to be like it's not a day to be joyous that the fans got a black man's job back in less than a week.
And I'm gonna say,
why can't this be like a unifying thing instead of having it split between the people that are like, "Oh man, you guys got worked and the dirt sheets are all wrong," and Triple H discrediting the media with this whole it's all part of the show. Did you enjoy the show? All part of the show.
Let me get into that. that was pathetic by Triple H.
Yes.
In the post conference, where these questions, first of all, these questions were asked. The only guy who asked a legitimate question was that guy who asked about R-Truth. A legitimate question that you'd like to know the answer to. What happened? What went into all that? And Triple H just flat out ignored it and played it up like, did you enjoy the show? Well, then blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. Answer the question. Give people the reason to freaking watch this shit and answer the question. And you could be honest. People are gonna have goodwill with you if you're honest and just say, you brought them back because you realized how much it meant to the fans. Like, people are not gonna attack you for that. People are gonna attack you for this bullshit answer you gave. It's like such a dumb shit. Answer the question. Like, it doesn't. Okay, you messed up. Fine, but you fixed it. People will have goodwill with you because you fixed it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about looking bad. Like, oh, you made a wrong choice or something like that. Like, just be honest. This will go a long way with fans.
So, Romeo, what you're telling me is that the guy who said he didn't read the lawsuit and that he doesn't see color is not good at media scrums? Are you telling me that?
Even those answers were better than this. Jeez.
No, they weren't. This is just a long line of Triple H blunders at press conferences. Like, we thought Tony Khan was bad. I think Triple H is worse at this point. This was like a cherry on top of the sundae of just horrible answers. If it has any type of substance, if it has any type of pushback or any type of criticism toward WWE, he becomes the worst version of himself. He becomes mid 2000s Triple H on the mic.
Fun fact. That I don't see color line is straight from Mr. McMahon's mouth. I was rewatching the McMahon documentary on Netflix, and he says it. So
but he says, I don't see color. All I see is money. I see money. Yeah. Triple H didn't even save, Vince saves himself when he says the full line. Triple H, given an abbreviated version of it, made it worse.
Well, definitely didn't see color last night.
Well, apparently he's not happy. Did you read the Fightful report?
That he doesn't like Money in the Bank?
No, not about it. He doesn't like Money in the Bank. He doesn't like the fact the fans have made him change his creative.
Yeah, he don't like that. But get over it. So butthurt. For nothing.
I don't understand what's wrong. Why is he like this? Why is he he's like rich? He's rich. He gets all these fans. He gets a large portion of fans that will defend him for anything that he does, including truth and everything else. But yet he still seems so bitter and insecure. I don't get it.
Those R-Truth chants weren't going anywhere. They were gonna become the new CM Punk chant for years to come. So
yeah,
better to nip it in the butt, as they say.
Yeah, agreed. We got Eric.
They're not
Isaac.
chanting, "We want Carlito." They're not. So
no, they're not. They're not. I mean, I saw Evil of WrestlePeers. He's like, "We want Coda. We want Dakota Kai back."
Oh, good luck with that one. I don't think that's gonna work.
No, I don't think so either. We got Eric Isaac. It says, yes, Naomi is the first black woman to win Money in the Bank. I'm happy for that. For sure. We got Greg Carter II. He says, I made my feelings on those people known in your tweet, SP3. Yep. I saw that. I did see that. I did see that. Kid Gutty says, positive vibes, man. Love Ron/Truth coming back. Don't care if it was a work or not, to be honest. I just know the feeling of joy I got when he popped out can never be taken away. Clapping emoji. That's good. We also got Frantic World, as Triple H said, is all part of the story. Man, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. It's like this guy can't help himself. It would definitely go. I agree with what you said, and I saw what you said in the chat as well. It would have gone a long way to bring even more goodwill to WWE if he would have just simply said, we listened to the fans, or we heard you.
Yeah. He could have said something like, we negotiated a new contract with Ron that works with us better than what was before. And just be honest. Jeez.
Hmm.
He answered
We
those other
got
bullshit questions that nobody cares about. Go on for 30 minutes rambling.
We got Matthew Rodriguez. It says, question for you guys. I wish a segment of R-Truth confusing Mariah May with Carmella, like Truth confusing Triple H with Ciampa and Ciampa with Triple H, because we love R-Truth. That will be funny.
Well, R-Truth is gone. This new character, Ron Killings, new. I don't think he's going to be as goofy as before. I think we're going to see a more serious side. I think. Now it's the Ron Killings farewell tour. I don't know.
Here we go. Yeah, and his son was happy. His son said he signed a new deal. He said last run, laughing emoji. So yeah.
You put a cap on Triple H.
We got Chuck Berries. He says, to be honest, I can really tell these days what is a work and what is a shoot. And that's why I listen to this podcast. I just saying. Well, thank you. Yeah. I mean, we just keep it real here. Like, I know there's some people that want to just be like, hey, yeah, this is great. Let's just focus on that. But we're here to give every perspective of everything. It's great that Truth is back, but it's more great that the fans dictated this to happen. And it's very rare in wrestling in general, in any of these promotions, that the companies actually listen to the fans. And if there's an outcry like this, and it was a big outcry this week for R-Truth to be back, so I'm so happy for him.
Big outcry. I mean, they're chanting for Truth during good matches. Like, what? Like, there's a good match going on, they'll still chant for Truth.
Yeah. We got a super chat donation by Vala. Thank you so much, Vala, for the support. He says, also, what the fuck was Ray talking about when he said WWE have Lucha, the seal of legitimacy when they bought AAA? Fucking Mexican shit. Oh my god, damn.
What the?
I didn't even see all that. I mean, the one line that got me was Conan talking about how they're not going to Americanize Lucha Libre, but yet all the matches at Worlds Collide were, until the final two matches, were very much like US style tag team matches and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with anything Ray said. I know Ray said it was like weird seeing the two logos next to each other in the ring, which I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, and I agree with call me Mr. Bonnie says not fan. We call out both here. No one is exempt from constructive criticism. Yes. I know that I've seen there's some people that just want to be, oh, we don't need to be critical of anything. No, this is what podcasts and talking about professional wrestling is all about. You got to talk about it from all ends of the spectrum. And key example is Romeo, who's usually the most positive person here on this channel when it comes to WWE, but he's also someone that I've known for quite some time. I've known him for nearly a decade. He will call a spade when it needs to be called a spade, and he's calling something a spade today. So bravo to Romeo for sure.
Yeah, if you're on the opposite side today, like there's no help for you. Sorry.
We got Aaron Ruiz, who says Trips avoiding to answer the question truthfully is bad. I know as a booker you may try to fit real life stuff into storyline, but this just felt out of place. Plus it's discrediting the media, and from what I know, and you could call this a report or not, there are a lot of like high-end media people that have been in contact with WWE's PR team after last night's post-media scrum, because it was in bad taste, bad form by Triple H the way he answered that question, because it basically fuels these part of the fans that want to badger and harass these media people who are just doing their job. And it's basically trying to influence just a portion of the media that are just going to draw these kind of like lob passes and softballs to WWE and discrediting the people that are actually doing their jobs out there.
And how in the world is that? Listen, I know you're a reporter or whatever. You got to think of, something to ask probably all day in the presser. You throw that away when you see the ending to that show, and the first question that should be asked is about R-Truth. What? Yeah. Why is it? Whoever the second guy was, thank you, because that was the question. The first question I asked is about R-Truth. What went into that? That's the question you have to ask. How do you not ask that first? What? I forgot what the first question was, but you have to ask about R-Truth first after you see that.
Yeah,
that's what people want to know.
It is. It definitely is, because that's the big story. That's the big story from the whole show. That's the big story. And WWE, their intention for last night was for the big final moment was Cody pinning Cena to set up the rematch from WrestleMania. But no one's talking about that. Everybody's talking about R-Truth being back. So sorry. I mean, this is a big story. It is a big story, and there was a lot better way to kind of answer that question instead of kind of fueling this negative vibe when there was a lot of positivity off of Truth coming back.
Yep.
But yes, let's talk about the two shows. You want to start with Worlds Collide?
Whatever you want. I'd rather start with Money in the Bank just because.
Okay, we can do that,
so we don't go too long.
All right, so we're gonna start with Money and Money. I'm just reading some of the comments. It's hilarious. There's arguments going on in the chat, but
you guys are hot.
People are hot. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Vala. Feel free, Vala. You have the power in the chat. Feel free to do what you need to do. But let's talk about Money in the Bank. From what was kind of your one word, one phrase to describe your feelings on WWE Money in the Bank last night?
Newsworthy. that's a good word. Very newsworthy.
I'm gonna say truth. That's my word. Truth.
Who's
the truth? So set you free.
Ron.
But yes, Ron. Yeah, Ron. No, I think it shouldn't be just Ron Killings. It should be Ron the Truth Killings. What do you think? You think it's gonna just be Ron Killings?
How did they word it on the website? I think
they said Ron Killings.
Yeah. So I think it's just that.
All right. So I want it to be Ron the Truth Killings. I always like that as a name in general myself.
Yeah.
But let's get into Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank from the Into Dome in Los Angeles, California. Started off with a Star Spangled Banner. The crowd was unsurprisingly quite into the national anthem. You saw a lot of empty seats early on, but I think we both are sports fans, and we knew. I was like, this is Los Angeles. Yeah, this is definitely a sellout. This is definitely a sellout crowd, but it's Los Angeles, so they're not going to show up until the second or third match in.
Especially when you had a show earlier on that a lot of people probably went to.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta get dinner. You don't want to get dinner at the freaking arena. That's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. I barely fit dinner in, and I'm at home. Come on. It's just they didn't have a lot of time to just go over, and because of that, I don't know. You probably shouldn't start with the women's Money in the Bank because a lot of people missed a good match they were looking forward to. And then walking in and seeing, what the fuck is this? Dom Mysterio versus Octagon. What is this? That probably should have went
Especially
first.
If they didn't go to the Worlds Collide and didn't watch Worlds Collide. They're like, what the hell? Did I come in for the dark match? Did they start the show late?
Yeah. I would have maybe started with something else just to give people, a chance to see them. One of the most anticipated matches.
True. But yes, it started off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. There was a lot to go in with this matchup. I like that they had like the running quick facts about everybody in the matchup. Rhea Ripley has never competed in a ladder match ever, like not even one. No, her first Money in the Bank ladder match as well as regular ladder match. For Stephanie Vicaire, she held the women's and NXT Women's and Women's North American Championships simultaneously. For Roxanne Perez, it was NXT Female Superstar of the Year 2024. For Naomi, it was a Black Light Artist and multiple time champion. For Julia, it was her big move is a scissored armbar crossface that she calls Bianca. No relation to Belair. And Alexa Bliss, it was doll and early 2000s heartthrob collector. Yeah, those are quick facts. But the bell rang and all 6 women started going at it with one another after a quick stare down. I like the fact that they separated the new stars that just came from NXT to the more veteran talent on the main roster. They started punching each other before the veterans won out the ring. Naomi was the first superstar to introduce a ladder into play, with Ripley using Bliss as a weapon to take her out briefly. Everyone traded places with Vicaire, Perez, and Julia ran through a 3-way sequence until Naomi returned and introduced Perez's face to a ladder. You get Bliss. Bliss snuck up on her, though, and laid out Naomi and Perez on a ladder for a flip senton. You get Julia coming in, and then she sets up her ladder in the corner. She sent Bliss into it, but it fell over and caught her right on the back. She shrugged it off as Rhea Ripley climbed back into the ring. Ripley drop kicked Julia into the corner and tried to set up a ladder. Naomi and Perez tried to stop her, but Ripley dispatched them quickly. Ripley then tried a razor's edge on Perez on the ladder, but Perez managed to reverse it and then hit a springboard moonsault onto Ripley that looked really good. I thought Roxanne Perez was one of the highlights of this matchup. She just knows how to work in any of these multi-woman sequences, similar to how she did in the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. Perez was the first to climb a ladder, but was pulled down.
3 years old.
She is going to be the ace of this women's division for like the next decade.
That
it's crazy.
Nickname was a shoot.
It was. Pulled off Bliss. Then Julia took out Bliss, and she and Perez raced up the ladder. Ripley steered for her life first, and then Julia and Perez quickly formed an alliance and went after Ripley, kind of a rehash of the Monday Night Raw feud from a month ago, hitting her with the ladder. The ladder wouldn't really cooperate as they stacked her underneath inside the ladder and tried to put it down on her. You get Vicaire comes in and she hits a killer dragon screw leg whip on Naomi that looked like it really wrenched her knee out the socket. Bliss and Perez climbed the ladder, and Naomi and Vicaire climbed the second ladder. Bliss bailed and powerbombed Vicaire off the ladder. She then pushed over both ladders and sending everyone flying. Julia and Perez then dropped Bliss right onto a ladder and right like ribs first. That looked like it hurt, and then turned on each other. That woke up Rhea Ripley, who threw off they threw her under like a pile of ladders, and then she finally got up from it when Perez basically was doing the skin the cat movement, and then she got scared because she saw Ripley come alive. Ripley grabs Perez and then throws her into the barricade before confronting Julia in the ring. Ripley went on a tear and then taking out Julia and Naomi, both setting up a ladder on the ring ropes. Ripley then threw Julia into one for good measure and then set up a ladder in the ring. She set up another ladder bridge. We get a dual basically code red spot with both women on both sides with Bliss and Perez, pop rocks from Perez and then Bliss with the code red. We get the devil's kiss on top top of one of the ladder bridges, which was a very cool spot by Vikingo in this one. Vikingo then scrambled up the ladder, but she was cut off for a bit. Then we get Bliss, Naomi, Vikingo, and Perez all climb the ladder, trading blows, mirroring each other. Suddenly, you get code red. You get those code red spot, and then Bliss, and then Perez scrambled up, and the two start trading blows with Perez and Julia. Ripley arrived and then dragged Julia off the ladder. She then hit a riptide on Julia while Bliss hit the sister Abigail on one side of the ring. They start smiling at one another, look like they're about to head up to the top and fight with one another. They both trying to grab at the briefcase as they fight on top of the ladder. And then Naomi comes out of nowhere. She pushes both Bliss and Ripley into a ladder that was in the corner, and then she quickly climbs up the ladder. She grabs the briefcase to become the 2025 women's Money in the Bank winner. Miss Money in the Bank is Naomi. I felt like she was the perfect person to win this matchup. Like, she has the character that's unhinged and unpredictable that should be winning this style of matchup. So I really like this pick. I thought this was, out of both Money in the Bank winners, this was the better choice. This felt like a
Not
kind of
even close.
This felt like really an achievement for her, as well as it felt very deserved with all the hard work that she's put in with her new character. So I was very pleased with this result. The match, though, I thought it was fun, yet a very forgettable Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't think this was one of the better Women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. I don't think it was better than last year or the year before. Fun match, so I'll give it 3.5 stars, but not something that I think that is going to be remembered for a long while. Like, I don't want to see these women kill each other, but this really lacked in big spots that are going to be remembered. I think people will remember the Code Red spot, but I thought it was a little bit contrived and choreographed. I think everybody's going to remember the Devil's Kisses on the ladder bridge. That was a lot of fun, but outside of that, I don't think this really ladder match had anything that's going to be included in the highlight reel. So I think that was the main reason why it came off a little bit forgettable, but the right winner, so I can't complain too much. What did you think?
I echo a lot of your same thoughts. I probably enjoyed the match a little bit more than you. It felt like Rhea Ripley was sleeping forever. My goodness. Rhea did not want to do any big spots, huh, Rhea? I'll be involved in the finish. I'm good. I like them playing up Roxanne and Julia's relationship. That was very, very brief partnership. But at least they played up to it until Roxanne turned on her. The Devil's Kiss. What a day for Devil's Kisses. My goodness. What a day. That was the second one of the day. What a day. Yeah. Great job. And yeah, they got the winner right. I did not want to see Mommy in the Bank at all. That would have been overpowered. Naomi's the best choice to win. She's doing great character work. She deserves it. It'll feed into her storyline, everything she's got going on. I personally am very tired of this Tiffany reign. End it as soon as possible. Cash in on her. This does not need to
wait. Yes, this is you being a Charlotte Flair.
No. Well, it'd be nice to see another blonde get cashed in on instead of her all the time. Charlotte's been cashed in on 3 times. Jesus, cash in on somebody else, please. So this is not the need to be a briefcase that gets held on a very long time. I'm fine with a quick one at SummerSlam or something like that, or Naomi. Well, make sure you get caution all over that briefcase. That would be nice. Caution tape.
Yes.
You have to do that. I am a little worried though, because they keep bringing up that no women Money in the Bank winner has ever lost their cash in. They're undefeated.
Please don't do this, Triple H. Triple H, you don't need to do this. I said to you when you suggested this in the True Hill Heat chat, I was like, this would end the allegations for Triple H, but this would put him in racist trial. He would be in the racist trial. There would be no allegations. He's being filed. He's being charged on racism. If he made Naomi the first black woman to win Money in the Bank, the first woman to not cash in successfully. He is being charged.
They are due a L. Well, the way you get around it is have another black woman cost her. That's how you get around it. Black on black crime.
That's not how you get around
Black on black crime cost her. Yeah, that's how you get around it. You don't have any other chance.
This is outrageous. This is outrageous. I think that Triple H is not ready to take that type of heat. Please don't do it to yourself.
Yeah, I'm ready for Naomi. I hope she wins. Because I'm ready. So ready. And that's how they'll protect Tiffany because she needs so much protection. They cashed in on.
Yeah, I think that this, yeah, I will admit I'm not a Charlotte Flair fan, and I have been the person on this channel that says that Charlotte's washed until further notice. She just doesn't need one. I just need one great match from Charlotte to be like, okay, she's no longer washed. I can't give her that tag until she has that great match. I gotta say she's washed, but I am also kind of. I am also tired of the Tiffany Stratton reign because it's so one note. It's just, let me say some things and sound like a heel, and then Tiffy time, and then that's over with the crowd, and she gets cheered.
That's the puzzling part. How is this so over? She's just so much better as a heel. I babyface Tiffany just makes me want to throw up. Honestly.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, and I think that the reason why I didn't like this ladder match, like say in comparison to last year or 2 years ago, the last 2 years had someone who is very much great at ladder matches in Io Sky. And then last year's ladder match had someone like, Zoe Stark, who was really good in that format, had Chelsea Green, who took that big spot off the ladder. The year before that had the Becky Trish Stratus rivalry to kind of drive the storytelling in the ladder match. This match, they didn't really like drive home the connection that Stephanie Vicaire and Julia had. Like, I thought that would be kind of the main like storytelling part of this, kind of telling the story of these two women that came into NXT together. Now they're on the main roster, and now they're in the Money in the Bank for the first time, and kind of drive things home. And there was no one to really take any big bumps. I think that was an issue for this matchup in general.
Yeah, or I would have just kept up with the theme old versus new, the old guard and the new guard.
Yeah. It could have been like the 2018 Royal Rumble, men's Royal Rumble. Yeah. We were there live for that.
Yeah. Same thing. Old guard, new guard.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. That being said, I still enjoyed the match, but yeah, you're right. It's like, it's going to be hard to remember, but you'll remember the winner.
Yeah. Kid Cudi said that kind of heat will make his pacemaker fall out. You're just trying to kill this man, Romeo, out here suggesting this type of stuff. That's outrageous. Come on, man. Come on.
Kid Cudi.
What we doing? We got Annika says it's time to put the title into this Naomi Jade Bianca story. I could see a world where Bianca is when she comes back, she faces Tiffany Stratton and she beats Tiffany for the title, and then Naomi cashes in.
Yeah, I could see a world where Charlotte beats Tiffy, and then she gets cashed in a fourth fucking time. I could see that.
It's like, God damn it! Here you gonna be like Triple H. There's gonna be reports like True Hill Heat, True Hill Heat Select. It's gonna be like Romeo hates the Money in the Bank cuts.
Whatever the case, I think it's at SummerSlam. I think it's after the Queen of the Ring faces Tiffy, whoever that is. I think it's during that match.
I can see Bianca winning King of Queen of the Ring. I can see that. Oh. Who's your early pick for Queen of the Ring?
Charlotte Flair. Hello, she's never won Queen of the Ring. She's the queen. Hello. She better win one of these. God damn it.
I mean, there might be a reason why they put Jade Cargill and Charlotte in that segment with each other. So
I think it's one of them.
I can see that. We got Davion. He says Naomi for WWE Women's Champion. Let's go. We got James Jones. He says this year too many shows are coming up too fast and can't tell the full story. I mean, there has been a lot of WWE shows. Like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Saturday Night's Main Event. 2 weeks before that, we were talking about Backlash. Backlash was only 3 weeks after WrestleMania. Like, they've had 4 major shows in like a month and a half.
It's too much. The Saturday
Yeah,
night
that's-
events are they come fast. Jeez, there's another one coming up.
Yeah, another one coming up in a month.
Night of
least-
Champions.
Oh yeah, I was about to. You know what I was about to say, Romeo? I was about to be like, oh, at least there's a month until the next big show. I totally forgot. Night of Champions is in like what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. So, yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
Which is,
but we shall see.
It's too much. It's too much wrestling. That's just one company. Jeez.
Yeah. We keep up with everything here, so we're just always talking about pro wrestling. For most fans, they're like, "Oh, next weekend's a free week. No AEW, no WWE," and I got to talk about Dominion and New Japan Pro Wrestling's second biggest show of the year is on Sunday next week. So
And then
I'm still
AEW is like, "Hey, here, enjoy this 4-hour show. Here,
4-hour weekly show.
Not even a pay-per-view. Here."
It's like they just never give us a break. Never.
Where the last 2 hours we won't even try.
It's like a slow decline. There we go. Hey. But we got next. We see highlights from the earlier show, which we'll discuss in a little bit here. And they showed highlights from Dominik Mysterio and Octagon Jr. getting into it after the trios matchup on the show, which set up our next matchup, which was for the Intercontinental Championship. Dominik Mysterio, along with Liv Morgan in his corner, versus Triple A's Octagon Jr. I did not like Octagon Jr.'s theme music or his Titantron because it looked too familiar.
Apparently, is he some kind of like relation to Penta? There's something going on with the families that I don't know of, but I don't know specifics of. But that's why I guess they have such similar stuff. I don't know. I don't know the full details.
His father is Octagon,
Right.
and Penta is based off of the other. There's been multiple Pentagon Juniors in AAA, so maybe. He's one of the premier luchadors in Mexico, so this was a pretty exciting prospect because he's someone that WWE obviously sees something in. Speed was the name of the game early on as Mysterio and Octagon were exchanging moves at a quick pace. Mysterio was the larger performer in the matchup, so he sent Octagon to the mat. He then tied Octagon's mask to the ropes so he can beat him up unimpeded. We get Mysterio slowing the pace down to keep Octagon on his heels, but Octagon didn't buy it. He took over and he gets an arm drag corkscrew. We get Mysterio followed up with the three amigos, but only got one in before Octagon broke free. Mysterio hit him with a modified driver at another point, knocking Octagon for a loop onto the ropes. Octagon ducked a 619 attempt and hit a swinging DDT, and then swinging neck breaker before heading up to the top rope. But Liv Morgan got a timely distraction in for her boo Dom.
Yeah.
Dom was able to take over and take advantage. He pulls Octagon from the ropes, knocks him down. He hits a 619, followed by the frog splash for the 1-2-3 to retain the Intercontinental Championship. This was fine. This was a short matchup. Didn't give it a lot of time, which is okay because Octagon did have to work earlier in the show, but it just felt like Triple H just had to fit his quota of 5 matches more than like the showcase that I think that it should have been for Octagon.
Yeah. Originally, I'm thinking, well, this is good for Octagon. It's almost like a little promotion, mini promotion. You get to be on the main card of Money in the Bank. And then they give you less than 5 minutes. And Dom Mysterio pretty much wrecks you. Could have used more time. Could have highlighted Octagon more. It didn't feel like a highlight of him. In fact, it probably made him look worse just to lose so quickly. So, not a good day for Octagon. Will be happy that he was on Money in the Bank, but that didn't do him any favors at all. That was like barely a TV match. We got the vintage Judgment Day distraction from Liv Morgan. Like I said, this probably could have went on first, and you give it a little more time, and you give people time to arrive in the building and find their seats, and so they don't miss out on the actual good match. Yeah. But let me say, on the subject of Dom Mysterio, I so badly want to see him go to Mexico and be involved in one of their Triple Manias in a big time match, maybe against El Hijo del Vikingo. I think that would be money. And it's good from Dom. That'd be awesome. Just to be a Mysterio and to be a Triple Mania and really stamp the WWE AAA relationship by sending one of your own. And that's a good one to send with Mysterio name.
Yeah. And it will help Dom in his progression as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I gave the match like 2.5 stars. Like, it was just too short to really kind of sink your teeth into anything here. And yeah, I mean, I wanted a little bit more of a showcase for Octagon. He could have got like a near fall or something. And you did have the time. You did have the time to do it. Like, because this show did wind up having like 45 minutes of ads on it.
It actually went, being the UFC fan that I am, it kind of went into the beginning of UFC, which I'm sure they did not want to do, but they did.
Yeah, I know that was probably why they scheduled it for 7 p.m., which is a 4 p.m. start time in Los Angeles. So it was probably for that exact reason, and they still went over the time.
Yeah.
We got a super chat donation from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, I think Trips heard you're complaining, so he decided to add a last-minute match so he could retain his title as a 5-match merchant. LOL. He is a 5-match merchant, man. I love the consistency. I love the consistency. I just want a middle ground. Like, I don't need 10 matches like some AEW pay-per-views are. I don't need it to be 5 matches. There is a middle ground of 7 to 8 matches on premium live events. There is. And it seems like the only company that gets that is like TNA, but yet TNA pay-per-views are never as good as AEW pay-per-views or the high-end WWE pay-per-views. So it's weird.
I understand a low number when it's a theme pay-per-view like this, where the Money in the Bank matches are so huge. They're stacked with people. The matches are usually long. So I understand for those. I understand them. But this match right here should have got more time. Like, you didn't do Octagon any favors here.
Yeah. We got Aaron Ruiz, who says, a little side note, the "we want tables" chants are getting obnoxious. They're just doing it on purpose now. And I mentioned that to you because it pissed me off during the women's Money in the Bank that they got "we want tables" chant. You got a ladder match. What the fuck do you want tables for?
This is the WWE crowd they're like pre-programmed. It's you're gonna get these chants, you're gonna get "this is awesome." 5 minutes into a mid-match. You're just gonna this is the WWE crowd. That's what they're gonna do. They want tables. And they want truth.
Yeah. Hey, I have no problem with "we want truth" chants. We want tables though. Come on, y'all. Y'all got a ladder match for a reason. Why do you need tables?
I'll forget this later on, but there was, I believe it was the Fatal 4-Way on AAA where they did a "we want tables" chant, and Conan was like, "What do these people want tables for? This match is great. this match doesn't need tables. They don't enjoy the action."
They're never satisfied. Never satisfied.
That was Conan's eyes being opened wide by a WWE crowd. What the F is going on?
It's like, what the hell is good? Can I say something? Can I say something? Can I tell you something? We got backstage. Chad Gable implored the Creed brothers to sneak a Fireball branded ladder under the ring for El Grande Americano to find during the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And he says, "Oh yeah, tell him. By the way, tell him where it's gonna be, and then tell me too." I'm just gonna tell you. This probably was minor for most people. This pissed me off, Romeo. I can't tell you how much this pissed me off.
What? A branded ladder pisses you off? Why?
No,
Oh.
the segment to set up the branded ladder.
Ah.
Why can't you just do it? Like, literally, you made everything in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match before the branded ladder come out. Just be like, I don't really care because nothing's gonna happen until the branded ladder come out. It's basically like the bloodline, like the Roman Reigns bloodline law of the diminishing returns, where a lot of people sat on their hands for a little bit of the last part of his reign until there was interference. That's what it felt like with the men's Money in the Bank. I was like, nothing's really gonna matter until Americano brings up this fireball ladder.
Well, it was funny in the fact that it fed into the Gable EGA conspiracy, and I'm calling him EGA because El Grande Americano takes way too long to say. EGA is very quick. It's got a little. Almost sounds like SGA. I like EGA much better. It's very fast. So, yeah.
EGA. I might have to try that.
And it's very helpful typing out too. It's just 3 letters. Yeah.
I just go Americano. Then I was really kind of like, I don't know how I feel. I really felt like at this point of the show, I was like, man, Worlds Collide. I did not expect to lap Money in the Bank. I was like, I think I messaged you guys and I mentioned Jimmy Macaram. I was like, Becky and Lyra are gonna have to carry again. And they did exactly that. Up next is Becky Lynch challenging Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Love the Becky new gear coming out with the fur coat, as well as some new gear. And Lyra, god damn, these wings look immaculate. Immaculate looking wings. Yes.
Always awesome.
Then you get this matchup starting things off with immediately as they were doing basically an introduction for one another. Valkyria took the fight to Lynch so hard that it popped the neck straps on her top early on as they were doing introductions. After Becky tried to attack her, the referee had to quickly do up her gear while Lynch recovered on the outside. She caught Lyra on a baseball slide and then made her just go splat on the floor. She then threw her into the barricade. This was a very aggressive Becky Lynch in this matchup, very aggressive and brutal throughout. She went right for the Bexploder for a 2 count in the ring. Lyra countered a manhandle slam and got a 2 count of her own. Lynch dropped a series of leg drops, wearing down Lyra with via neck offense. Lynch chopped her into the ring, and then Cole reminded us that Lynch is 0-5 in her last 5 matches, which I thought was interesting as well. In the ring, both women started trading.
Over.
In the ring, both women traded punches. Lyra came back. She picked up the pace and dropped Lynch with a modified driver. She hits a perfect Tomohiro Ishii style superplex and then a fisherman suplex there for a 2 count. That was really good. I think Lyra's just been showing off just how good she is in the ring during this rivalry here. Becky spikes Lyra with the spike DDT. Lyra does a full headstand on the bump. Valkyria tried a moonsault, but Lynch was able to dodge. Lynch locked in an armbar at another point, trying to make Lyra submit. But Lyra was able to make it to the ropes. Lyra reverses it into a half crab and then starts putting her boot to the head of Becky. Valkyria splashed her out to the floor, and then Lynch tried to get away, recover on the Spanish announce table. Valkyria followed her and then laid her out over the barricade. She then goes up to the announce table and drops a huge leg drop over Becky's neck across the barricade. Valkyria went to the top turnbuckle in the ring, but Lynch was able to catch her and hits a beautiful looking power bomb where Lyra lands high on her neck, and that gets only a 2 count. It was here that we heard some more "We Want Truth" chants. And then we get Lynch tried to get the drop on Lyra. She gets a manhandle slam. She hits it from the top rope, but Lyra is somehow able to kick out with Becky just in disbelief that, like, what the hell do I have to do to this woman? We get Lynch took her to the outside and tossed Valkyria into the ring post. She then hits a manhandle slam on the floor. Valkyria was out, so Becky wasn't able to pull her back the dead weight into the ring. So Becky goes back into the ring to break the count and then goes back out, but that gave Lyra enough time to recover. She hits a Nightwing right on the floor. Both women are down. We get a count out tease, but both women are able to miraculously get up at the count of 9 and get back into the ring. They start trading punches and blows with one another. Then we get the roll-up attempts, but Lynch is able to get a timely reversal, handful of tights, 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion in what was another great match between these two. Their chemistry is undeniable at this point. They just deliver some great matches, and all of them have a different feel to it, but also have callbacks to the previous matches, because all of their matches, all 3 of their matches, have ended with roll-up finishes and reversals, and who's just the better wrestler and the better time wrestler. Becky this time using a handful of tights to get the advantage, so she basically cheats to win. But via the stipulation pre-match, Becky basically implores Lyra to raise her hand. She forces Lyra to raise her hand, which Lyra follows through on the stipulation, but that's not good enough for Becky. Becky wouldn't let it go and made her do it on all 4 sides of the ring. She then made Lyra put the belt around her waist, but Valkyria instead hits her with a German suplex and then picks her up and gives her the Nightwing that Michael Cole called the German Nightwing. Goddamn, Michael Cole has regressed quite so much, I will say. He's regressed a little bit. But this, Lyra stands tall, so the rivalry will continue. But an excellent matchup. This is once again Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch proving why they are 2 of the best women's wrestlers in this company, and they just have this great chemistry with one another where they have nothing short of great matches. This was another one to go in the books. I give this 4.25 stars. This was a little bit more hard-hitting and more physically intense than their last match at Backlash, with Becky kind of coming off more unhinged and desperate in this matchup. And I would say right now, this rivalry is doing a couple of things. It's solidifying and legitimizing Lyra Valkyria as one of the best women's wrestlers in WWE today. It's legitimizing and elevating and giving prestige to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And it might be the best women's rivalry that we've seen in WWE. As far as like match-wise, quality-wise, with the good promos as well, since I would say probably Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. I know some people love the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, but that went a little too long. I think they had a peak last summer, but it went on too long for the end of the year for me to be like, oh no, that was on this level. Nah, this is a level above, because every time out they're having just as good or even better of a matchup, and they're adding layers to the story as well. And it's doing more for Lyra as the younger star to be elevated, as well as a whole title is being elevated in the process. So this is the most effective women's feud in like 3 years. What did you think, Romeo?
Very solid match, as just like their first one at the previous pay-per-view. And I like the ending. They got the winner right. Becky should have won here. And I like that she did it, dirty, cheating, like a heel. And the post-match with the raising of the hand, I understand, Lyra had to be a woman of her word. All that extra stuff by Becky, 4 corners, put the title on me. Very heelish, very nice. But it ended the way it should have. If I'm going to do all this extra shit for you, I'm going to get my move in here. You're going to be left laying. And I think that did something very positive for Lyra in the eyes of the fans. That was very badass of her to just leave her laying like that. So she lost the battle, but this war is going to continue. This is a trilogy, and this sets up for a trilogy match that needs a big stipulation. I don't know what you want to do. You want to do last woman standing? I think I would go with I quit, because it would it would really put Lyra over, humiliate Becky if she has to say she quits. So I don't know how long this reign's going to be, but they need a trilogy match, and it has to be big and to really put the stamp on this feud.
Yeah. It seems like everybody's in agreement. They enjoyed this match. Kid Cudi says this feud did wonders for Lyra. Davion says Lyra and Becky don't miss. We got Annika who says big time Bex right there. We also got Power Driver Finisher who says you can do better, but they are still cool. I guess I don't know what that was in reference to. I Made Beats talking about the Nightwing on the outside. We also got
splat. It went splat.
We got Aaron who says Lyra is really coming out of her shell with this feud. I would postpone their third match and let Lyra go for the world title. I mean, I can see Lyra becoming a world champion in the next year, though.
When would you do the third match? At Night of Champions? Do you try to lay off
Evolution.
SummerSlam? Evolution. Becky did once have a last woman standing match at Evolution.
She did.
That would be full circle again.
Yeah. They can do Evolution, and then their Evolution, you have Bayley return.
Yeah. You can also cool off on the feud by just paying attention to the Queen of the Ring tournament. And maybe Becky costs Lyra or something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
I can see that. We got Call Me Mr. Bonda who says big time Bex. I love that Lyra is no longer the I'm just happy to be here rookie anymore because she's a hooper, man. Want to see her mix it up with Io soon. Prayer emoji, eyeglass emoji, and hearts emoji. I know her and Io have had some really good matches on Monday Night Raw, so I wouldn't mind them going at it again. But yeah, Lyra was awesome in this matchup. This might have been her best performance on the main roster so far.
It'll do good for the fans, for Lyra to reach into a more badass side into whatever this third match is going to be, where it's not a traditional, grappling wrestling match. If she just goes full badass and beats the shit out of Becky,
Yeah. We got Kid Cudi who says, honestly, if they want to get their Hangman Swerve vibe going where they're always feuding, I wouldn't be mad at that. Shrug emoji. We got Aubrey who says Hell in a Cell with Lyra and Becky. I don't know if they've reached that point of hatred. I agree with where Romeo is aiming. Like, I Quit matchup would make the most sense because they've had 3 matches where they've all finished pretty much the same with a roll-up reversal or of some type. This time they can be like, we're going to have one person get a legitimate win where they make the person quit.
Yep. Hell in a Cell, you got to get to Drew and Punk levels of hatred, which is, we're not there yet.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, they have to live up to that now. Yeah, they set a new standard kind of hatred.
Which, Punk and Rollins can get there.
Yeah. All right, but next up
you need Punk. You need Punk hatred for a big Hell in a Cell match. That's what you need.
Are you telling me that CM Punk's an easy person to hate?
Yeah, he'll hate you back.
Might be onto something. Where
the hell was CM Punk last night? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
Hate
enough to be in LA.
Nope, not enough. But yes, next up was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Look at this outfit. What is this? This look like coil. Like, what? This guy look like a Brillo pad. It's like, what is? This is I'll give this a 7. This is ridiculous, though.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Like
low bar. I like the jacket. So that's why it gets a 6. The attire itself, not so much.
The shades were nice though.
Yeah, shades in the jacket were nice. We get him coming out to a big ovation. Americano got a good reaction.
ETA.
Andrade was here. Solo Sikoa.
You got a fucking ladder in the nuts.
Oh man, that was harsh.
Ouch.
Penta got a good reaction, and LA Knight got the pop of anyone in this matchup. LA Knight in LA looked like it could have been a perfect night for him in LA, but
Triple H
And-
hates this guy. Oh my god. This guy
Like,
couldn't win.
if it ain't this year, it's never. Like, I literally got convinced by all the people that kept telling me, "Oh, LA Knight, it's now or never. It's now or never." And I said to the first person, which was Rick Ucchino, who first told me he thinks this is LA Knight's year, and he's like, "It's now or never," and I was like, "It's probably never." I should have kept to that. I got convinced by all their rhetoric. Everybody telling me that nonsense. Early on, everybody has their eyes on Seth Rollins after he attacked everybody in the matchup on SmackDown. So they take him out. That left Andrade, Penta, and LA Knight, who turned their attention on Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is hilarious as he tried to do all their mannerisms. He did the LA Knight, then he did the fist bump to Andrade, and then the Zero Mero.
He was spamming the emotes.
He was pressing the direction pad on to do all the taunts. But yeah, he gets kicked in the face by Penta. Then they did the same to him, sending him out. Americano was next as Rollins managed to get back into the ring and take out Penta and Andrade. Everyone was on the outside, and then Americano picked up a ladder and dispersed smacks with it to everyone in the matchup. Commentary just got weird in this matchup because you had two people that were going to defend the identity of El Grande Americano, while Michael Cole goes very hard on trying to convince everybody that this is Chad Gable. So Wade Barrett had to go bizarre with it, where he said he's done thorough research of both Chad Gable and EGA's nipples.
Whoa.
And he says that Americano's nipples are much different than Gable's.
Whoa. It's a bit much.
Just a little bit. Penta had Americano in the corner and delivered some stiff chops until Rollins hit him in the stomach with the ladder. Americano then threw Rollins onto a ladder in a modified flipping razor's edge. Knight then sent Sikoa into a ladder and laid him out with some shots. And then Sikoa fought back and attempted a Samoan drop on the ladder, but Knight reversed it and knocked Solo onto the ladder and did the LA Knight elbow while he was on it. Rollins with the bigger ladder climbed up and Americano went up to the other side. Sikoa then set up a third ladder which Andrade climbed up, and they all battled on top of the ladders of various sizes. You get Rollins was dumped over Americano's ladder and then delivered a pedigree to Penta. Sikoa and Rollins remained as the only two in the ring. Sikoa then went for the Samoan spike, but Rollins hit a super kick and knocked him down. Rollins set up a ladder in the corner and launched Sikoa into it with a drop toe hold, and then followed up with a curb stomp. Rollins grabbed an appropriate sized ladder and set it up in the middle of the ring, but Americano climbed up it and had him in the ankle lock upside down on Rollins. And then Andrade tried to climb up over Rollins and did a sunset flip powerbomb onto Americano as Penta did a superplex onto Rollins onto a ladder bridge in the corner. Penta and Andrade went to the top, and Andrade offered Penta a chance to grab the briefcase, seemingly out of respect, but Penta, having never seen wrestling before, was convinced, and Andrade took advantage. Andrade set up a ladder bridge, but Penta was able to get the better of him, and he gets the Mexican Destroyer onto the ladder bridge, wrenching at Andrade's neck. Sikoa leaped into the ring and took out Penta, mocking him while doing it instead of climbing the ladder. That gave Knight an opening to pull Sikoa out of the ring into the barricade. Knight set up a ladder bridge between the ring and the barricade and then threw Sikoa into the steel steps. Knight then climbed into the ring and was met with Penta hitting a destroyer. Americano started suplexing him off the ladder and then did the same to Rollins and Knight and Andrade. Rollins charged Americano, but the alleged luchador dodged and sent Rollins into the ladder. Then he went under the ring and grabbed the official Fireball branded ladder that the Creeds had hidden for him. Sadly, it did not shoot fireballs. It was just a brand. Americano was able to start doing the Terry Funk spot of the spinning ladder. Americano climbed and so did Penta. The two fought on top of the fireball ladder, and Penta sent him packing, only to be replaced by Rollins. We see Americano basically loading up his mask with the metal thing to put in his mask, and we get this very convoluted but insane spot where Penta fall on top of the fireball ladder. Rollins falls down, and there's a ladder in the corner that you see here. So then Americano is on the outside with LA Knight, and LA Knight tries to do a slingshot, but there's no room. So Americano just has to do all the work in getting himself up. He climbs a ladder that's against the ring post. He climbs onto the other ladder that was in the corner, and he basically titty-totters over to the big fireball ladder. He then delivers a big headbutt to Penta, who starts falling down the big fireball ladder down to the mat. And then he's up top. He looks like he's going to get close to getting the ladder, but LA Knight is able to grab him and deliver a massive back suplex off the fireball ladder with Americano's head just barely missing another ladder that was down in the ring. That was a cool but insane spot. Rollins was left alone in the ring. He climbed the fireball ladder as Heyman encouraged him to do so. Andrade tried to climb up as well, but Rollins sent him down. Penta arrived, and Andrade pulled Rollins off. Penta and Andrade fought on the top of the ladder. Sikoa then comes in, and he raced up, and Andrade was forced to hang from the briefcase for a moment. Penta then climbed a different ladder while Rollins called for backup. This led to Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Yes, the Braun Stars are here. They start clearing house, beating up everyone. We get Braun doing a redo of the Carlito spear. I guess they need a new clip since they can't show Carlito anymore, with him taking out Americano in the entranceway with a massive spear. He then gets in the ring. He spears Knight. Then Andrade and Penta. Breaker speared Knight on the outside, while in the ring, Bronson Reed delivered the tsunami to Andrade. But then, as they were going after Solo Sikoa, suddenly the music of Jacob Fatu hit, and out comes Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. They face off with the Braun Stars, and we got Bloodline versus the Seth Riders in the ring as they start going at it with one another. You get Braun delivers a massive spear through the barricade on JC Mateo, while in the ring, Fatu hits a pop-up Samoan drop on big-ass Bronson Reed. I was like, God damn. Tope Suicida by Fatu on Reed takes him out over the announce table. Fatu then put Solo into the ring. He set up a ladder for him and was basically holding guard as Sikoa noticed that the ladder was too short. Why do they even have those? And Fatu grabbed a properly sized ladder and guarded it. So Sikoa tried to climb up the ladder until he gets his hands on the briefcase, and just as he touches it, Fatu grabs his ankle. Solo looks down at him and he screams, "I hate you!" and then pulls him down, delivers a big super kick. He follows up with the double jump moonsault on Sikoa, getting revenge for Solo making fun of him, saying that he was all gas, no brains on SmackDown last night. Fatu has the crowd going crazy for him at this point. He then goes to the apron right above the ladder bridge, and he delivers a spinning Solo through the ladder bridge, taking Solo out of this matchup completely, and he leaves. Rollins then grabs the other official fireball ladder. He sets it up in the middle of the ring. No one was staring, not even a mouse, as Rollins climbed the ladder and almost had it, but LA Knight pulls him down and delivers a discus lariat. Knight races up the ladder, but Rollins is able to recover. He pulls him down the ladder and then slams his head at the back of his head against the fireball ladder. He delivers a curb stomp, and then he climbs the ladder and grabs his second Money in the Bank ladder match win, grabbing the briefcase as he celebrates post-match with Paul Heyman and the Braun Stars. Whew. This was a lot. This was a long ladder match. I think this went like 30 minutes or so from bell to bell. But, man, it was a lot of fun. lot of big moments in this one. This had all the spots that I was kind of looking for from the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. They saved all the big intricate spots for this one. This had the big moment with the Jacob Fatu betrayal of Solo Sikoa, and this just is what I was looking for from a Money in the Bank ladder match because of all the time they were going to devote to these matches. I needed big moments. I needed storyline progression. I needed a winner that made sense, even though it was very telegraphed and probably the most obvious Money in the Bank winner that they've ever built to. Ever. I think that all signs were pointing to Seth Rollins to the point that it made all of us go like, it can't be Seth, right? It can't be Seth. It has to be someone else. But I guess that added to the intrigue that it could have been anyone winning this one. And instead, they just went with the most obvious choice. So I don't know about this being the right winner. I think Naomi is the better winner on the night, but this is definitely the better ladder match. I give this four stars. What did you think?
By the way, before this match, they showed what was it? One of the Kardashians and Barker from the drummer.
Yeah, Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian.
And then you got me seeing Topanga and in the row behind them. They didn't show her. What?
No.
Topanga.
Disrespect. Remember they did the same thing to Eric Matthews. They did the same thing to Will Ferrell at the Raw Netflix premiere.
Anyways, this match, what a pop for LA Knight early on. This guy, not even from LA, by the way, he's from Maryland, just so you know. Solo Sikoa, man, he's so great. He's really in his bag right now. His character work, just like Naomi is. You forget who this guy's father is. It's like, oh, that's where he gets his personality from. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. The Gable ladder spot was awesome. I loved it. Even though Seth's, you see Seth, obviously, making sure the ladder's safe, everything, it's very obvious, but keep it safe. It was a cool spot. Loved it. And I'm just waiting for all the interference. In my mind, I know we're going to see the Broad Stars. I know we're going to see JC Mateo and Fatu. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I'm thinking, we're going to see CM Punk too. Wrong.
No.
But when you get the four that I mentioned, that was a nice little face-off. I know they did it on SmackDown too, but that was a nice little face-off where you felt like.
Well, they kind of set it up on SmackDown with the face-off that they had to start the show.
Yeah, like they're gonna blow these two heel factions. That was cool. And Fatu, man, that was a career-making moment. All of that with Solo Sikoa. That was huge. That's the big thing you're gonna remember from this match. So well done. Solo was hilarious, reaching for the briefcase and like. He's wondering, like, why can I not pull this down? Why am I stuck? Like, he looks down. He sees Fatu grabbing his foot, and Fatu was great. What a moment. And, I kind of wanted Solo to win this, but at least Solo leaves with something. He leaves with a money feud with Jacob Fatu, as opposed to poor LA Knight, who leaves with nothing. This guy... This should have been his match to win. This creative sucks. What in the world?
God, Romeo has turned on Triple H.
What in the world does Seth Rollins need the briefcase for? He's already overpowered with the faction that he has. He's going to get his title shot by hook or crook eventually. He does not need this briefcase. What? Because he wanted another 2-time winner to go with CM Punk, and it's poetic that the two of them are the ones that, who cares? I don't care. This was LA Knight's moment to have. Even if LA Knight cashes in and loses against a John Cena or whatever, still, it's big for him and it does something for him. What does this do for Seth Rollins? It gets more heel heat? He already has heel heat. It did not need
Not
this.
Really. Not really.
It doesn't. It sucks. It's a bad creative decision. It did not need it. I would have gotten much more enjoyment if CM Punk just cost him, because they cost CM Punk his spot in this match. Why would CM Punk not want to get revenge right here and cost him in? Unless you're telling me he's going to cost him in the cash in, which, do we need that too again? Because
this is like last year. Everybody thought that Punk was going to stop Drew from winning Money in the Bank, but he let him win just to cost him the cash in.
The only saving grace is, thank goodness, there was not another same night cash in. I am so tired of those. That's so overdone. Enough of those. Thank you. But yeah, I am not a fan of this booking decision. Seth Rollins did not need it. Does nothing for him. He's going to be champion anyway without it. I hate it.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to convince myself that it wouldn't be Seth Rollins, because he does not need it. He can get a title shot any other way. But this, like him winning, it basically tells me Jey Uso is not leaving Monday Night Raw this week with the World Heavyweight Championship.
They have created great drama for Jey Uso, but the drama was already there by the end of the night, just from him. We'll get into it, but
yeah,
the drama's already there, basically. It didn't need briefcase drama on top of it.
Fair. We got a super sticker from Andreas Gaming. Thank you so much for the support as always. Good to see you in the chat. We had I Make Beats, who says Solo had me reeling during this. We got Davion, who gives the match 4 stars. Kid Cuddy says 4 1/4. This was some heat. We also got
there was a time there where Solo was just like floundering. It was like, now what for Solo? Now he's got something. The now what has come, and he's in his character right now. He is rolling.
Because he's finally playing his own character. He's not playing the enforcer of the bloodline or cosplayed Roman Reigns dressed as Weekend. He's still dressing as Weekend, but he's playing his own character. He's being a very humorous, annoying heel that's talking trash about his own cousin, and his cousin hears him doing it. And I think it's going to lead to a big time U.S. Championship matchup at SummerSlam.
Yep, he's got something to sink his teeth into.
We got Call Me Mr. Bonda. It says niggas had Seth fucked up for the longest. Also, this is getting close to my prediction that this is to solidify Braun Breaker as a main eventer by Mania 42. So there we go.
Oh, by the way, big Braun Breaker news related to him. His they signed the other Steiner, Scott Steiner's son, to an NIL deal, WWE. So we are, one way or another, we are going to get the Steiner brothers once more. The Steiner brothers.
Steiner cousins.
Yep.
Steiner cousins. We also got Dion Jenkins with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says, if Punk costs Seth his cash in, I'll be pissed. They did the same thing with Drew last year. Yeah, I mean, whenever they put the Money in the Bank on a main eventer, it's never seen as like Money in the Bank 2 years ago was very much an elevation point for Damian Priest to become an upper mid card to fringe main eventer, and Io Sky to where she is today as one of, if not the top star of the women's division. Last year, Tiffany Stratton, they used the Money in the Bank to elevate her up to this main event status that she's currently in as the WWE Women's Champion. And Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, that's not this. Like Naomi, her winning, that's viewed as one of the biggest wins of her career. Seth winning, it's going to be like the Drew thing, where it's just a plot device. Hopefully this is a plot device to put the World Heavyweight Championship on Seth faster than some of us thought it would be back on Seth. Hopefully it's for that and not a plot device to do the same thing they did last year.
But I can understand Punk. Punk should be mad at this man. This man cost him his shot in this match. He should want some kind of revenge. He can't just sit by and watch Seth's plan come to fruition this easily. Like it does. Like this hatred has to boil at some point. This could be the War Games match. This could be Hell in a Cell. Like Punk cannot see Seth win. That it make Punk, in my eyes, look like a loser if he just stands by and lets all this happen and does nothing about it. You should be pissed. This man cost you. This group cost you. You should be pissed off. I would have put the damn briefcase with LA Knight, and I would have had fun with a little LA Knight John Cena feud, which I think they can deliver on the mic. Yeah, LA Knight probably loses, but I think it would have done good for LA Knight having a little feud, briefcase feud with John Cena. That would have been fun. I don't need. You're gonna get Seth in the main event picture anyways. It doesn't matter.
It's like either way. Either way, you're getting Seth. Like you don't. He doesn't need the briefcase. But I'm also fine with it. because I understand what this this is. This is just to speed up the process of Seth getting back to the world title.
There you have it, folks. SP3 is fine with something, and I hate it. There you go.
This is what the people wanted. The people wanted it. People wanted this.
Sucks.
And then they had the huge announcement. You know, they're going to make a big deal about this because it's big news. No, instead, they just had Michael Cole with the most depressing kick over to a video announcement I've ever seen. We had a lot of news about where's WrestleMania going to be this year? Well, here's it. And then the camera paused on them for an eternity to the point that Pat McAfee was like, and here it is. And then they do a video package with Triple H announcing that WWE is officially going back to Las Vegas with a return to Las Vegas for next year's WrestleMania 42, April 18th and 19th. They offer a QR code for early ticket registration as well. What do you think about this logo, Romeo, and the announcement? This felt very. I don't know if it's just WWE. This is an obvious money grab by WWE at this point, going back to Las Vegas. Maybe that's part of the reason, but also just the execution of this announcement. This is one of the most lackluster WrestleMania announcements I think I've ever seen.
Hey, man. It all went downhill ever since that Rock announcement for freaking New Orleans. They overhyped that. He's playing Lil Wayne. That was the beginning of Lil Wayne's downfall.
That led to the Carter 6.
Yeah. Las Vegas. I love them trying to just make it appear like this was the plan the whole time. It's time to double down. What? That was not the plan, buddy. Not the plan.
Let's double down.
If it was the plan, you'd have never announced New Orleans. You know, what the hell's going on? The logo, I don't know how I feel about the logo. It looks like someone's playing with their cocaine. I put that logo back on screen if you still have it. I don't know how to feel about it. I think the other one was better. The last one was better.
What, last year? Yeah, last year was much better. Yeah. That was actually a really cool logo because it felt more like Vegas. Yeah, this one just feels like someone did a big chalk lineup. Like this felt just very lackluster and haphazardly announced. This WrestleMania announcement.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. It's not great, so.
No, nothing about this whole WrestleMania, pulling it from New Orleans and going back to Vegas. It doesn't feel great from like it.
And that's like the bank is next year, right? New Orleans.
Yeah, I think Jimmy McElrath put it best when he saw the announcement. He was like, he feels like those NASCAR fans, how they feel when they saw the thing they love becoming corporate jerk-offs.
Wow, damn, it's a bit much, but Jimmy McElrath.
It's Jimmy McElrath. It's Jimmy McElrath.
It's a bit much. Just make the WrestleMania card good, man. Just make the card good, and I don't care where it is. You could have it in the projects. I don't care as long as the card's good. Deliver.
Just make it better than this past year's.
Yeah.
And then we also hype up Monday Night Raw. You got the Jey Uso versus Gunther World Heavyweight Championship matchup. They also announced the return of the GOAT. GOAT is back. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You can't just
the Divas GOAT. The Divas GOAT. The Divas GOAT. Not women's wrestling GOAT, but total Divas GOAT. The woman that created so many different wrestling fans out there with total divas, Nikki Bella, making her return.
But listen, you're already gonna have people tune in because you got a big championship match where it is a little in doubt. It's not guaranteed Jey Uso's gonna win. People are gonna tune into this. Do you have to announce Nikki Bella? You can't let it be a little surprise. Jeez.
That's what I said. That's what I was saying. I was like, why did they not save this as a surprise?
Unless you have a bigger surprise coming. Like, I don't know. Goldberg here. I don't know.
Yeah. Goldberg coming out to cost Gunther to set up Saturday night's main event or Night
But
of
then you
Champions.
also got the Seth Rollins briefcase shit. Did not need it. It's too much going on. I'm still pissed. We just talked about it. I'm still pissed.
I thought you got out all the venom when you just talked.
This is gonna be for a while. Who cashes in first? Seth Rollins, right?
Seth definitely. Seth's definitely cashing.
How
in
long?
first.
We don't even have. So just 2 days. Is that how long the briefcase lasts?
Yeah, Triple H has made it a thing. He will not have two people holding briefcases for more than a month.
Nope.
The most he did was 2023 when he had Damian and Io hold it for a month, and then Io cashed in at the very next premium live event, which was SummerSlam.
I mean, I'll say this, at least with the characters, it kind of makes sense. I could see Naomi biding her time, waiting for the perfect opportunity. And I could see Seth Rollins being impatient as hell, realizing he has a briefcase, he has the Bronze Stars. This is already guaranteed. I could do this whenever, Yeah.
Plus, he's thinking about the fact that he did the whole beatdown at the end of Monday Night Raw. Then he saw this matchup that we're about to talk about, where Jey was in the matchup more than Cody, and he took a beating from Cena and Logan Paul. And then Gunther's going to give him a beating in that matchup, regardless of result. So it's just perfect timing for him to take advantage of all that.
Man, I'll say this: it is good storytelling that people were warning Jey Uso. He didn't listen. And now look at him. He is hurting from being involved in Cody's business. Like, it's just, he's hurting for it. He's doing what a world champion shouldn't do. But in his eyes, he's gonna fight for good. He sees himself as, doing what has to be done. Yeah. I do like that. They've given him something there. It's probably gonna cost him.
And then finally, we had the main event of Money in the Bank. Undisputed WWE champion John Cena and Logan Paul going up against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. John Cena, of course, is hell-bent on ruining wrestling. Logan Paul is hell-bent on ruining everything else. In their response, you have the Cody as the Yeet Man, Jey Uso, and the American Nightmare team up here. Big ovation for Cody Rhodes when he came out. Of course, the biggest pop of the night for Jey Uso during his entrance. John Cena gets a big reaction as well. Logan Paul gets some boost. After the entrances and introduction, the bell was sound, and after some discussion, Rhodes and Paul kicked things off. Paul immediately...
By the way, not a fan of this LA Rams gear. The Lakers gear was way better.
The Lakers gear was immaculate on SmackDown. It was great. It was so good.
I'm not a Lakers fan, but that was beautiful. That was clean.
Yeah. Rhodes and Paul kicked things off, but then Paul immediately tagged in John Cena, who locked up with Rhodes. I love the fact that they were like kind of selling this as Cody Rhodes and John Cena have this blood feud, and then they just did a lockup and a regular start to the matchup. No anger there towards getting screwed at WrestleMania. Quickly, Paul was tagged back in by Cena. Cena attempted to ruin tagging too. Rhodes got Paul up in a vertical suplex and stalled about 30 seconds. From there, Uso asked for the tag and came in to take on Paul for a bit. Uso hits a pop-up neck breaker and then sent the Dazed Paul into the corner to yeet all over him. Paul fought back with a blockbuster, though, and got the first near fall. Cena then jumped in and rained down punches on Uso. Cena sent Uso into the corner and distracted the referee so Paul can get in some shots of his own. Uso reversed the next whip and sent Cena into the corner. He reached for the tag, but Paul got one first and pulled him back to the center of the ring for a gut-wrench slam. Paul then dragged Uso to his and Cena's corner, isolating him. Rhodes paced around the ring apron while Cena delivered a lariat on Uso. Then he started slowly doing his 5 moves of doom, hitting a begrudging 5-knuckle shuffle. Uso popped up and reversed the AA into a sleeper hold as the commentary team tried to convince us that this is Uso's like signature move now because he beat Gunther with the sleeper at WrestleMania. Cena backed him into the corner.
It's looking more and more terrible.
It's looking like Cena's STF.
Yes, which is hilarious considering who the move is on.
Cena backed him into the corner, squashing him, tagging in Paul before Uso can get to Rhodes. Paul hits his big leg drop on Uso after mugging for the crowd. Uso tries to make his comeback. He fights back against Uso until Cena and Paul double team Uso. Cena went for a cheap shot on Rhodes, but he saw it coming this time and blocked it, sending Cena back to Uso with a punch. Paul tagged himself back in, but Cena didn't like it, saying that you need to work with me. What are you doing? I'm trying to teach you. The two start shoving each other over who should be tagged in, giving Uso enough time and a chance to crawl over to Cody Rhodes for the hot tag. Rhodes comes in and he jumps in and clears out Cena and Paul. He hits the Cody cutter on Cena, dump Paul to the floor and hits a tope suicida. Rhodes hit Cena with a big missile dropkick, but on the bounce back, Paul hit Rhodes in the face, giving Cena a chance to hit the AA for a near fall as Uso broke up the cover. Rhodes grabbed Cena and landed a crossroads, but Paul went up top for a splash and missed Rhodes as Rhodes moved out the way and he hit Cena instead. Then Uso followed up. He hits a big spear on Logan Paul as it looks like the baby faces have control here. Cena and Uso got to their feet and started exchanging blows. Yeet, boo, yeet, boo. Cena tried for an AA, but Uso reversed and hits a super kick instead. Paul took Cena's place and he and Uso started exchanging punches. Then Rhodes made the save for Jey and him and Paul started exchanging punches. He goes for the bionic elbow, but Paul's able to reverse it and hits the pulverizer. Instead of going for the cover, Paul starts taunting to the crowd and mugging for the drone camera as he goes up to the top rope. That gave Rhodes enough time to deliver a superplex to Logan Paul as the drone cam basically saw it all go down. As you can see, Paul taking the superplex, still holding the camera for some reason. What a jackass. As Uso came off the top rope and hits the Uso splash on him as Paul finally releases the drone. Cena snuck in and hits an AA on Uso, then one on Rhodes, but Rhodes kicked out at 2. Cena took Rhodes to the outside and cleared off the announce table. He cleared an announce table, cleared the second one off as well, put Rhodes on the first one. Cena then put Rhodes up for the AA, but Rhodes was able to wiggle free, allowing Jey Uso to hit the spear on Cena on top of the announce table. Logan Paul then sees Jey Uso still on top of the announce table and hits a beautiful looking acai moonsault onto Uso, taking him out. This was after he botched the buckshot lariat earlier in the matchup, so he had to make up for it, and he did with that acai moonsault. We get both Cena and Rhodes. They get into the ring. They crawl back into the ring. Cena, with the referee distracted with all the carnage on the outside, he grabs the WWE Championship. He clocks Cody Rhodes with the belt. And then a masked man enters the ring. He spears Cena. I immediately saw the black skin on the masked man. I was like, that's R-Truth. What's going on? As R-Truth then reveals that it is him, he takes off his hoodie to a huge pop from this LA crowd who go crazy. We want truth. You got truth. He then leaves. He clocks Cena with the WWE Championship. He then leaves through the crowd. Cena is knocked out cold in the middle of the ring as Rhodes staggers to his feet. He gets up. He delivers the crossroads to Cena. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes picks up the win, pins the WWE champion with the assist from the returning R-Truth. This match was a slog to start. It was slow, plodding, very boring, kind of opening 10 to 12 minutes. But once they started hitting all the big finishers and everything, and then the big surprise at the end, the final 10 minutes of this matchup were great. So overall, I actually like this matchup. I'll give it like 3.25, 3.5 stars, something like that, because I think that the back half really made up for it. It was very similar to the Cena or Randy Orton matchup, but you had more people in this matchup to make it a lot more interesting. Cena still looks like it hurts him to take any type of bumps. But you had guys like Logan Paul, despite the big botch on the buckshot lariat. Just stop doing the buckshot lariat. If you can't do it perfect every single time, don't do it. And the last couple of times it looked rough for Logan Paul, and it feels like his knees are going to explode on one of these buckshot lariats. So don't do it anymore. But the acai moonsault, Jay did, but the acai moonsault Logan Paul did was beautiful. That was the spot of the matchup. So that was great. All the stuff towards the end was great, but the cherry on top was, of course, R-Truth's return, and what a pop R-Truth. The biggest pop of his career was in this matchup. So I'm so happy for him to be back. The fans wanted it. The fans got it. The fans made this happen. So it's all love to the fans who rallied behind R-Truth after WWE made a mistake with letting him go. And yes, it was revealed on WWE Shop, the Twitter account. They released the quote unquote new, even though he was wearing it in February, R-Truth shirt, which is now the Ron Killings shirt. So happy for Truth. He's got a big angle, comes back in a major way. What did you think about the tag team matchup? And of course, the return of R-Truth, Ron the Truth Killings.
And they put back the Ron Cena shirt, which was one of their top moving shirts, actually. And they put that back up for sale. I agree with you a lot about this match. I think they got the right winner here. You forget that Jey and Cody, former tag champs, they should not be losing to this unestablished tag team.
It only lasted about a week. So it's not out.
Still counts. Still, they got better chemistry than Logan and Cena, and they played that up with Logan and Cena not really on the same page. So, and it reignites the Cody Cena stuff, having Cody get the pin. The drone spot, that was effing awesome. The drone spot with Logan holding the drone and that camera angle, and the jump scare when Jay who was it? Jay or Cody leaped back into the picture.
Jay.
That was cool. Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, I love the drone on the Money in the Bank with the Naomi shot of her winning. The drone was perfect for that match, Money in the Bank ladder match. That was cool. I was pretty upset when Uso did the spear on the table. These damn tables, man, they don't effing break. And then Logan says, "Watch this," and he just amazing spot, breaking the table and everything. That looked awesome. And like you, when I saw the hooded figure, I immediately noticed the black ankle. I was like, "This is Truth." Oh my God, it's Truth. Huge pop, huge moment, feel good moment. And like we mentioned earlier, he looked like he wasn't no goofy R-Truth. He looked like he had a serious side to him. Yeah, so if they're playing off this Ron Killings as a more serious character than R-Truth was, then that's some interesting creative going forward. We'll see how that plays out. I thought Cena sold everything. His face, his look of like disbelief was really great. And I like the Jey Uso stuff in the sense that this does not look like a man ready for a big-time world championship in 2 days. He looked like he was hurting. He looked like this took a toll on him, and that's the last guy you want to see is a fresh Gunther waiting for you Monday night. They've created some very good intrigue and drama where you're not sure if Jay's going to pull this off. Gunther has a legit, serious chance of winning Monday. And that's without all the briefcase shit, which not needed at all. You don't need the briefcase drama on top of that. It just does not look good for Jey Uso on Monday. And it has me very much looking forward to see how this all plays out on Monday. So that's a good job building for Monday.
Yeah, Annika pointed out Kathy Kelly, her emotional response to R-Truth. Yeah, that added to it. Like these Kathy Kelly does not get asked to act. No. And act in that way. Like she that was genuine. That was genuine response from Kathy Kelly. It was so well done. Such a nice touch to add to the post show as well. We got Call Me Mr. Wanda. I also think
because we don't say this too often, we've been again on him today. That was a good call by Cole at the end with the whole truth thing. Yeah. What he was talking about. Yeah, I forgot the line, but it was well done.
Whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah. Call Me Mr. Bonda says Big E asking, I wonder if this was a last minute signing decision. And I was like, yeah, it is. And I know that you know it is. I mean,
I think
a lot of the
nobody-
announcers and stuff are not like tipped off to these type of things. So I think
if anybody was probably Cole. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cole and the guys in the matchup.
yeah. And they tell them right before they go to the ring or something like that. Nobody knew this guy was coming back. Nobody.
This was a cool moment and
Good
it
stuff.
added
And
to
it sort of justified them going last.
Yes, because I think it was Sean Ross Sapp said that the match, the tag team match was going on last for a reason. And then we got the reason as well. And speaking of Sean Ross Sapp, we had the report, a ton of details behind R-Truth's return he put out last night after the show. He said R-Truth appeared at the end of the show. He announced his release a week prior from the company, which WWE clarified to Fightful at the time was actually a contract expiration that was occurring. His contract had not actually expired, but sources close to Ron R-Truth Killings did claim he has a new deal. His son has also confirmed as much on social media. Over the week that followed, wrestling companies, promoters, and reps reached out to Ron Killings / R-Truth and were hopeful that they could book him for upcoming shows. A number of talent noted to Fightful that they spoke with R-Truth and specified repeatedly that the situation was not a work. We're told that there were many tears over Killings' departure, and he was flooded with phone calls and messages, and that Killings seemed shocked and kind of disgusted, as we all were. Specifically, one talent noted that Truth was cut in a very cold and impersonal way, with the talent relations employee, not even the head of talent relations, a talent relations staffer, informing him instead of top brass in the company.
That's rough.
Fightful was told that Killings actually ignored many of WWE's approaches during the week following the big reaction on Monday Night Raw this week until Nick. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I would have been like too. Until head honcho Nick Khan, the president of the company, took over.
Legit boss.
Took over and called Killings to work out a new deal. Fightful was told that the deal was a meeting halfway situation. One talent that Killings worked with for over a decade stated to Fightful, Ronnie wouldn't do that. If he had to maintain a work like that, he just asks us not to say anything. He would never lie to us about that. I think that Paul also knows that lying to or trying to work the locker room is horrible taste. In response to Triple H claiming R-Truth's departure and appearance was quote unquote part of the show, a number of talent reached out to outright claim the opposite. Truth's son, Christopher Killings, also posted a cap in response to the claims of it all being part of the show. Another talent saw Killings' son calling cap / lie on Triple H's comments and said, "See, you can't control all these conversations." Another veteran responded to the situation saying, I can tell Hunter doesn't like it. He doesn't like the fans hijacking creative. Before elaborating their disbelief of it being an elaborate plan in a very colorful manner. Throughout the week, one of Killings' friends in the company said, and I quote, "It's hard to feel good when we fired Santa Claus." And PW Insider reported immediately after Truth's return that the deal came together in the last 72 hours.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, R-Truth's son, man, he wants to smoke.
Yo, he wants to smoke. Like, that's what I'm like. I'm in disbelief that there is still a portion of fans that are like, oh, it's all a work. It's all a work. They planned this from the beginning. They planned it from the beginning. When their son is not a part of the work. Him coming out and saying this and being so adamant and standing 10 toes down on it should tell you it was not a work to begin with. It's now a work because he's back, but it wasn't a work to start. And R-Truth himself, when one of the WWE accounts, I think it's FOD Media, put up, oh, they worked us. They worked us all. He responded, no work.
Yeah. Don't try to revision history out there. History is laid out right in front of you by the actual people writing it.
You know? Don't then and Triple H is he's got some carny in him. got some carny in him. Trying to.
Does he?
Trying to.
That was a very carny answer you gave that poor reporter. Did you enjoy the
very
show?
carny? Did you enjoy the show? All part of the show.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Chuck Berry says fans wanted truth, and while Trips wanted the pop, mission accomplished. Both people got what they wanted here. The fans got truth. Triple H got the pop. WWE looks good coming out of Money in the Bank. Everyone wins. This is why you shouldn't have post-media scrums. If there was no post-media scrum, I think we would all be everybody would be happy right now on WWE.
I very much look forward to R-Truth's or Ron Killing's next promo. It kind of sucks that it's all the way till Friday. I wish it were on Monday because I'm very intrigued to hear what he says.
Yeah. Call me Mr. Bonda says good that Ron Killings got his job back, taking him as a serious threat in the main event picture at 53. Thumbs down. I mean, like this is kind of what Jimmy McIlrath said. He was like, we now gotta live with our truth, get a main event push because the fans outcried. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for truth.
If they turn it into, this is his last stand, this is his farewell tour now too, then I like it. But if it's, if it's just, I'm here for I just signed a 5-year deal. I'm here till I'm 60 or something like that,
I got a lifetime contract now.
Well, I'm very curious about how long this contract. Did they say multi-year or they didn't say anything? I don't know.
It said a couple of years. He
Okay.
signed on for a couple of years.
Okay. Well then, yeah, it's not a farewell tour. That's probably his last contract. I don't know.
No. Venom Hernandez says you can ask Triple H if he like pineapples on his pizza, and he'll say it's what we do. It's what we do. And Power Drive Finisher says I agree with Jimmy. It's like, why didn't y'all try beforehand? I mean, we had to do this intricate plan of he announces he's not been renewed, and then the fans outcry and say he wants him back, and then we bring him back. See, this is all an elaborate work. Elaborate.
I know for sure Cena handpicked Truth to be one of his feuds in his farewell tour, but now I don't think he expected all this. No, it's got even more juice. Shit.
Yeah. It's probably the most juice that it would ever get. This is gonna be a much better version of the first matchup, like build and stuff. It's gonna go on longer. Probably maybe that's his Night of Champions matchup.
Cody's kind of getting grandstanded here.
Cody, we're gonna have to wait. Well,
Yeah.
Cody, you got SummerSlam. We'll get you at SummerSlam. SummerSlam, it's all you. Right now, we gotta go with the hot hand. It's R-Truth.
I guess it is Night of Champions.
Yeah, makes sense.
And another L. He ain't beating Cena. I'm sorry.
Give Truth the title. Get the title. Imagine
Ron
they do
Killings
this.
that Cena's facing now.
Yes, Ron the Truth Killings is the
worker.
new
He's a better
WWE
worker than
champion.
R-Truth.
That is true. Ron the Truth Killings, new WWE champion.
No chance.
You gotta believe. Romeo. You gotta believe in the impossible dream. Annika says, "Yep," and I'm cool with it. I mean, Gary Carter II says, "Imagine Truth saves wrestling. He's gonna save the WWE championship."
The savior we didn't know we needed. Your mic kind of messing up a little bit. I don't know if it's a line or something.
Oh, did I? How's this sound now? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Annika, you might be onto something. She says redo the Jericho win into the Dusty finish, have him win, and then it's like, oh, Cena's foot was under the ropes.
It would be great heel shit for the Cena character, and it'd get a hell of a pop from whatever crowd it is. Yeah. I'd be. That's one thing you don't use too often. But if you're gonna bring that back out, I don't think Triple H doesn't like R-Truth though, so I don't think he's gonna give it to him. We know he does not like R-Truth. It's apparent.
He doesn't like R-Truth, and he doesn't like the fans right now.
Yeah, so I don't think you're gonna get this, even though it's a great idea. You got to remember who's booking us. But I do want to see this, relived one day in some form or fashion, because that was just such a memorable moment. I remember marking out crazy in my room when that happened live. I was like, what? And then the funniest shit later on in the show with like Lillian introducing the former oh, Triple H was so pissed. He is so pissed.
It's like, you son of a bitch. And then he grabs up Earl Hebner and has him reverse his decision.
Yeah, I mean, Triple H and Shawn, they love rebooking their careers, but that's one thing they have not done yet. Triple H has not done yet.
Yeah. Call Me Mr. Bonda says, I need wrestlers under 40 to speak up for themselves more backstage. Enough with this nostalgia. We don't have any viable new stars in the world title picture. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, Cody is relatively a newer star that's in the title picture. Logan Paul's is in the main event. He's a newer star that's in the title picture. Jey Uso is a new world title champion. Gunther a year ago was not in the world title picture, and now he is. So they got people. That's why you have 2 world titles.
Well, I can understand if Mr. Bonda is, does not approve of that Seth Rollins booking. I agree. Rehash damn Seth Rollins Money in the Bank shit. I'm still pissed.
Avengers of Jay Smooth, good to see you in the chat. He says, give R-Truth that Mick Foley WWE title win feeling.
That was also a big moment, the taped world title win.
Yeah.
That'll put some butts in the seats. Woo.
It sure did. Mr.
Bonda, listen, 40 in WWE is a baby. A baby in wrestling age in WWE.
It's basically 30. It's basically being 30 years old. 40 is when they start pushing you now.
Don't worry.
Look at LA Knight and Damian Priest.
You're going to eventually get your little Braun Breaker, young stud, big push main event, and it's going to be for years, and then you'll probably get tired of it, and then you'll be asking for the next guy. This guy always wins.
Fatu's in his early 30s, so that's another one that's on the rise. So, yeah, you got some people. Don't worry. But that brings us to the end of the Money in the Bank review. We still got to review WWE AAA Worlds Collide. We'll do that a lot faster because there was more to talk about with Money in the Bank.
That's why I said do it first. That's why.
This is true. But yes, let us know in the chat your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me and Romeo, for WWE Money in the Bank 2025 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Romeo, out of 10, what did you give this show?
I'll say a 7.9.
So almost an 8 for you.
Yeah.
I went 7. I give it a 7 out of 10. I think there was two great matches, 2 good matches, a match that didn't need to be here.
Yes.
but I think like most times like that, like I felt like the 2 good matches was the Women's Money in the Bank and the main event. The main event exceeded expectations, while the Women's Money in the Bank under-delivered from its expectations.
And you got a big, huge, newsworthy return at the end.
Yeah, I think that's what brings it a bump up. So I might go. No, I think I'm gonna stay at 7. I think it's a close 7.5 even. I can work myself into a 7.5, but I'll stay at 7. 7 out of 10 is where I'll go for this show. I thought it was a fairly decent beginning. The first 2 matches kind of disappointed me because, like I said, the women's match kind of underdelivered, and then the Dom match didn't really need to be here, and it was very short. But from Becky and Lyra on, this was a really good show.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the women's match probably a little bit more than you did, but that's probably why my score is a little bit higher.
What was your match of the night, Romeo?
I'll go with them, even though I hate the damn creative. I'll go with the men's Money in the Bank.
I'm going to go with Becky versus Lyra. Becky versus Lyra for my match of the night. MVP for the show, Romeo?
I got 3. Naomi, Fatu, and Truth.
I'm going to go Yeah, I'll go co-MVP as well. I'm gonna go Naomi and R-Truth. Black Power. Black Power.
I just think that's an all-time career moment for Fatu there. That's gonna really put a rocket on his back. That was cool.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty big moment. It's like in the whole scheme of things, it's probably like second or third biggest thing on the show. The Fatu turn.
If R-Truth doesn't come back.
Yeah, if R-Truth doesn't come back, that's probably the highlight of the whole show. But it dropped down a bit because of R-Truth coming back.
LVP, so this is easy for me, man. Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H is the LVP.
Yeah.
Freaking doesn't want R-Truth back. That's clear. Shitty ass answer that damn press conference. And shitty booking of Seth Rollins. I hate it.
And your boy, LA Knight.
Yep. Treating LA Knight like garbage. Putting that waste of a match second. All the late arriving people, fuck them. We'll put the women's match still first, fuck them. Nobody's in their seats. F them.
And moment of the night, I will give that to Solo. Jacob Fatu turning on Solo.
Because Truth
yeah, the R-Truth. It's either one of those. R-Truth's return or Jacob Fatu turning on Solo. Since I didn't give Jacob Fatu MVP like I did Truth, I'll give moment of the night to Jacob Fatu turning on Solo.
I'll give it to Fatu because I think they'll do more than that than they will Truth's return.
Yeah. And it seems like a lot of us agree. Yeah, LVP is definitely Triple H. It's definitely Triple H.
Some bad booking.
Yeah. Just not the most foresight. And when you really know the details of everything, that it was Triple H's decision on whose contract not to renew, he really botched that one. He really botched that one. So yeah, he does deserve
expecting that, were you?
He does deserve the LVP. And he keeps doing media scrums even though he's not good at them. He's never been good at media scrums, but he continues to do them. Just let someone else do it. I can't even say let Nick Khan do them because he's not good at interviews either. But let someone else do it.
He did not want to be out there. He only took like 3 questions. Usually he'll stay out there and let more people ask. He wanted to be in and out. Bye-bye.
That's how you know it wasn't the best night. When he's feeling himself, when he feels like he really cooked something up, he's taking like 4 to 5 questions minimum.
Good mood.
Yeah, he was not in a good mood. You could tell by the snarky reply to the R-Truth question.
Yep.
All right. Then in both for Money in the Bank, you had Worlds Collide. WWE AAA Worlds Collide. Of course, we're going to do one word, one phrase to give our overall thoughts on Worlds Collide. My one word, one phrase is fun. Or do you know what fun is in Spanish? You're Hispanic.
No, not really, because I don't have too much fun myself.
But go ahead. What's your one word, one phrase?
Fun's a good word. Yeah, I'll just say stamp, because I feel like WWE put their stamp on AAA with this.
Yeah, there was a bit of that. There was a bit of that for sure. We got Chuck.
At the same time, AAA should be happy with that because it's better than where they were before.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. They definitely got more eyes on AAA through this show than it has been in a very long time. And we got a super chat donation from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, rant alert. If I have to hear Conan say, listen to the people one more time, over validation pisses me off. If it's really awesome, you don't have to say it over and over again. I'm just saying. I think even more than listen to the people, though, Chuck Berries, he says, can I say something? Can I say something? Yo, I was about to start. I was like asking my missus. I was like, "Do we have any liquor in the house so I can take a shot every time this guy says, can I say something? Can I tell you something?'"
Listen, I thought Conan was informative. If you didn't know a lot about AAA, he definitely filled you in on a lot of the stuff you should know. I thought Corey Graves was pretty good doing play-by-play.
I thought Corey Graves was great.
He did his AAA homework, which was his brother works for AAA, so I'm sure he just went to him and got all the information. But that being said, I wish there was a third guy on commentary to provide energy, because you listen to the English broadcast, and then I dare you, if you haven't at all, watch the last two matches on the Spanish commentary, either on Peacock or on WWE Espanol, the YouTube channel, and you'll see the energy those guys brought to those two matches. The energy just didn't match the action going on in the ring. You got high flying lucha action. You need high flying action commentary. So I didn't think that was any fun until you listen to the Spanish broadcast and you're like, wow, it made the matches even better.
Yeah, I thought this was probably the best job that Corey Graves has ever done at play-by-play. I thought he was great. I thought he was getting better when he was doing play-by-play on SmackDown, but he never really had a standout night like this was for him. He was really done, and he was very educated. He felt like a Mike Tenay at the first When Worlds Collide back in 1994.
And I don't like Graves on color commentary. Really,
no.
I don't. But he is play-by-play. That's a much better role for him.
Yeah. He felt really refreshed, especially because he hasn't done a lot of like major shows like this outside of being the third man on NXT. So it felt like, oh man, Corey Graves, I forgot you're actually good at this when you really are trying.
Yeah,
but
I like him better than Tessitore.
I'm in liking the team of Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. I think that Tessitore fits better with Wade Barrett than Corey did.
Probably.
I won't say he's the better poor wrestling announcer, because like we've established, Joe Tessitore's just started doing this last year. Yeah. But I think that he's better with Barrett because he's more of the natural play-by-play guy, whereas Corey is just getting his feet under him as far as being a play-by-play guy.
Yeah. So
we started off things at the top of the show with a formal opening ceremony for me and Romeo, who usually watch Triple Mania. This did feel like a regular AAA show, because they always start off with the pomp and circumstance, adding a little bit of gravitas.
They love the pageantry and fanfare. And even before this, that video package,
yes,
that was all the CGI. That was incredible.
Yes, Rey Mysterio did a good job with the narration, focusing on the acquisition of AAA by WWE/TKO and events that led to today's show. After the cold opening, we were welcomed to the show proper by Corey Graves and Conan. Shots of Rey Mysterio, Lola Vice, and Stephanie Vicaire, Chad Gable, and El del Vikingo had the key of form before they went inside. Graves welcomed Conan to the commentary table and the Spanish commentary team, led by Marcelo Rodriguez. We then get a steering performances from the Mexican and U.S. national anthems. Lillian Garcia doing the U.S. national anthem. In the ring, you had WWE's Paul Levesque and Shawn Michaels, and we're standing alongside Blue Demon Jr. and Marcela Pena.
Looks annoyed even here. He looks annoyed.
Yo, he does.
Like, shitty day, man. He looks annoyed.
He's like, God damn it! I gotta stand here. I gotta be at the Intube Dome in like 30 minutes.
He looked like Nick Khan just called him and said, "We've re-signed R-Truth."
Yes.
Fit him in the creative.
He's like, God damn it! I gotta change the finish for tonight's main event. Then you get Rey Mysterio. He comes out, makes his entrance to a very loud ovation.
The facial hair. A good look for him. You're not 20 years old anymore, Ray. You don't have to look like a baby. Good world facial hair. Looks good.
It made him look extra Mexican for the show, so I appreciate that. He's the recipient of the National Hispanic Media Council's Legends Award and was all smiles for this afternoon's event. Mysterio started off by talking about the 1994 When Worlds Collide event held by AAA and its historical significance 21 years ago. He claimed that WWE helped put Lucha Libre on the map, which, yeah, that was a kind of wild statement. Mysterio talked about how he was proud to see Lucha Libre evolve over the years and that the entire world will see today just what made Lucha truly Libre. A rather interesting opening promo, and like the claims of WWE helping put Lucha Libre on the mic will certainly, get some people to talk. So I understand the comment that we got earlier. And then that led into our opening contest, which was a trios matchup. Aerostar, Octagon Jr., and possibly the biggest star of the weekend, Mr. Iguana, who's accompanied by his beloved pet iguana, Lyra, and they're facing the WWE.
That's the real star. Lyra, that's the real star.
And they're versing WWE's LWO, Dragon Lee, and Cruz del Toro. And Rakim Wild was replaced by Lince Dorado. Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio were seen in the crowd having a close look at the matchup. As the bell rang, both teams faced off before Octagon and Del Toro started off for their respective sides. After a handshake, Octagon and Del Toro got into a lockup. The two competitors traded arm drags and pin attempts, but nobody could get the advantage. Soon, Iguana and Lince Dorado were the legal men. Crowd popped huge for Iguana entering this matchup. You get a hard chop that caused Iguana to fall on his back. Iguana answered with a drop kick, and then he brought in La Yesca, which seemed to give him a big reaction for that and seemed to give him a big boost in the matchup. You get some fun Lucha Libre starts like Aerostar and Lee as the former delivered an impressive tornado. Then you get Lee sent over the top rope and things broke down as LWO got sent to ringside. The AAA All-Stars took flight with simultaneous dives. The LWO then worked over Aerostar, and this didn't last long before Aerostar created some separation with a drop kick. And then he tagged in Mr. Iguana. Del Rio stifled Iguana's offense with a spinning La Mystica, but then Iguana kicked out. He once again brought in the pet Iguana, and which angered Lince Dorado, who grabbed it and then stomped on Yesca, getting big boos. Then he nailed a standing moonsault on the poor Iguana. Iguana then took exception to the cruelty to Lyra and took out Dorado. LWO hit triple super kicks on Iguana, and then they appeared to have the match won with Dorado hitting a shooting star press, but we get a breakup of the cover. The finish comes when Octagon and Dorado mix it up on the top rope, with the Octagon hitting a avalanche moonsault fallaway slam for the 1-2-3 to give AAA the first win of the evening, which they did not repeat again until the end of the evening, but more on that later. So AAA All-Stars pick up.
Conan kept asking, what's the score?
And Corey Graves tried to not answer in the nicest way.
You don't want to know the score, pal. You had him at 1-0.
This was the high. This was their only
count.
lead. This was their only lead of the ball game.
Stop the count.
This is when a basketball team hits the first shot and then they never get another lead.
Yeah. Let's not talk about basketball. I'm pissed.
I'm sorry. After the matchup, you get Dominik Mysterio gets on the mic and he talks trash about his father Ray as Octagon got up to face him, and he talks trash.
You must have forgot my dad's a deadbeat. You guys are all honoring him. You must have forgot.
He says you're honoring a deadbeat and you're such a big fan of him when you should be a fan of me. This led to Octagon punching Dom, and this escalated to a pull-apart brawl. As the two men were separated, Dom dropped a bombshell that he'd be defending the Intercontinental Championship against Octagon Jr. later in the show at Money in the Bank.
My girl.
What a picture here. What is Liv looking at? What is Liv looking at? Excuse me. We got children in the crowd. Yes. This was a fun fun trios matchup to start things off. It was very high energy. Mr. Iguana being as over as he was awesome. It was great to see for such a veteran of Lucha Libre and AAA, and someone I've seen over the years, especially for the Triple Manias. So that was fun. And then Octagon Jr. getting the highlight, but it was funny that it was just to set up him basically giving the win back to WWE on Money in the Bank. So their one of their wins on this show was then defunct by them losing on Money in the Bank. So that's hilarious, but really fun way to kick things off. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. What did you think?
I've always said that a AAA show doesn't officially start till you get your first botch. And man, oh man, I forgot who did the dive, but like,
yes, it was it was Dorado who didn't catch Octagon. Octagon
Jr. Like, what were you taking a nap out there? It's like, you gotta be. That guy went splat. Oh, I felt so bad for him, man. But yeah, like you said, the action was good. They started slow. They worked their way into it. The crowd was it was early. It was early in the day. They knew they had a long day, so it took them a while to get into things. And I knew Mr. Iguana was going to be a star and over like Rover. I knew it. This guy, I'm so happy for him. So happy. And then they show him later on in Money in the Bank, and that was
gets
cool
a big
too.
pop again.
Yes. And you got people like fans like wanting to come take a picture with him, and he's enjoying all of it. He's taking every second, and good for him. I'm so happy for him. And he's gonna sell some merch, pal.
This is hilarious.
La Yesca?
Forget Mr. Bonda said, someone said Mr. Iguana is Mexican Orange Cassidy.
It's a mix between him and Santino with the Cobra. It's very, very reminiscent of that. But I think he's a better wrestler than Santino. But yeah, he's gonna sell merch. The shirts are already on shop. If you want them, go buy that merch. He's great. Great look. The gimmick is funny. It's just a fun, entertaining, guy.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. I felt good for Mr. Iguana. I'm happy for him. He was the real star of probably the whole Worlds Collide, in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like everybody liked it as well. And yes, Mr. Sacco is another good shout for La Yesca. Yeah. We then get some footage of legends from AAA past, like Mascareta Dorada, Mascareta Sangrada, who is in the crowd. You also got Latin Lover, who is Shawn Michaels' old tag team partner. He was in the crowd as well.
What a name. Latin Lover. That's it.
Musician That Mexican OT was also shown in the crowd as well. Backstage, my boy Chewy Martinez of WWE Evolve. Let's go. I bigged him up. I was like, that was the biggest guest appearance on this show is Chewy Martinez. And of course,
Chewy looked like he should be in the ring.
Chewy commented under my post like, thank you. I was like, yes, you're my guy. WWE Evolve, let's fucking go. He interviewed Legato del Fantasma about their trios match against ELD, Dr. Wagner Jr. and Psycho Clown and Pergano. They said that they're ready to prove their lucha legacy tonight. And then we went into the tag team matchup, which we see Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky are in the crowd for this matchup. And the tag team matchup is Stephanie Becerra.
Remember, Io Sky is an honorary Puerto Rican. So she could mix it in there with AAA too.
Stephanie Becerra and Lola Vice of WWE versus the team of Dalis and Chick Tormenta. Yeah, do you have any comments on how the two ladies from WWE were looking in this matchup?
I love the Cuban gear. I love the Cuban gear on Lola Vice. Very nice.
She always got a rep. She always got a rep for her city. So I give her credit. I like Lola Vice. A lot of people were saying that they felt like this was a nice showcase for Lola Vice as well.
Hey, when you got Lola Vice as the second best wrestler out there in the ring, that said something.
I mean, I don't know if that says something for the talent and on the other side with Chick Tormenta. Yeah, she did good. The Stephanie Vicaire is always good, and
Yeah.
the AAA
You-
ladies were there.
You were asking
Dalise,
Stephanie. You were asking Stephanie to drop 50 here.
when she had another game later in the day.
Yeah.
They running her like a AAU basketball player. 3 matches in 22 hours. That's
Like, if this
outrageous.
If this is the old like SmackDown versus Raw GM mode, like she's injured. She would have been injured by now.
Yes. Dalise and Vicaire start things off. They talk about them being former tag team partners. She tries to go for Devil's Kiss early, but Dalise powers out of it. Tormenta then tagged in and continued to maintain dominance for the AAA side. They get a single leg crab when Lola Vice tags herself in. She gets a single leg crab on Tormenta for a bit, but Tormenta reverses that. Vice responds with a smash mouth strikes. She got caught by both Dalise and Chick Tormenta in consecutive running hip strikes on opposite corners. This opened up Vice to get a lariat from Tormenta as the AAA ladies dominated. Tormenta then entered the matchup and dropped Vice with a power slam and then stretched her with a submission. Vice then caught Dalise in an inside cradle attempt before finally tagging in Stephanie Vicaire. We get Vicaire gets Dalise down in position for the Devil's Kiss while Vice cuts off Tormenta, and they do dual stereo Devil's Kiss. Booker T is very proud.
Let me tell you something, SP3. I searched social media long and hard to get the other camera angle.
Was it worth it?
Oh, yes, it was.
Vice took Tormenta out of the equation with the dive to the outside as Vicaire finished off Dalise with SVP 1-2-3. Stephanie Vicaire and Lola Vice pick up the victory here. This was fine. It was fine. I thought Stephanie Vicaire was good. Lola Vice was solid. The AAA ladies, they were definitely on the older side. That's all I can say. Vero Rodriguez comes into the ring, and she interviews the WWE ladies with Lola Vice saying that she hopes she made her Cuban family proud, while Stephanie Vicaire says that she's going to go on to become Señorita in the Bank. Any thoughts on this one? I gave the opening match 3 3/4. I gave this matchup 2 3/4.
Listen, those AAA ladies, how do I say this nicely? They're not young. They're pretty, up there in age. They got to do something about the AAA women's division. Like we need to get younger. We need to get younger. We got to find some young female talent to boost up that side of the roster, because you know how much WWE loves their women's wrestling. You gotta do something with the AAA ladies. You gotta revision that division. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They need help. Like, really, when you look at like the AAA women's division, like the last couple of years, the most noteworthy women's champions have always come from different promotions, whether it be like Taya Valkyrie or Deonna Purrazzo had the title for a bit. Like they always came from like TNA or AEW for a long time.
Yeah. I don't know how it is out there, the scene in Mexico, where women want to be, wrestlers, or I don't know, but because like anybody young that they like, they're probably just gonna be like, wait, why don't you just join us? We don't need you in AAA. We'll have you in NXT. You're that good. Like it's weird.
That was disrespectful of Negro. They were treating Negro Casas like he's only Dalise's husband and not like a freaking one of the most legendary, like top 10 luchadors of all time.
Yeah. And I also like Vera all show. She was really good, translating with the English and the Spanish. She's very personable. She was good.
Good touch with Chewy and Vera on the show as the interviewers. Then we get a trios matchup: Legato del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Angel, and Berto of WWE versus the AAA trio of Psycho Clown, Elio del Dr. Wagner Jr., and Pagano. Good reaction for the AAA squad. What were you gonna say?
Can those guys eat some carbs? You see these guys' abs? Like, it's okay to eat a sandwich, guys. Come on. Jeez.
No thanks.
Those abs are ridiculous.
Psycho Clown's attempt at a show of respect with Santos Escobar was brushed off, and the match got underway with Dr. Wagner Jr. the third.
Hold on a second, because I got to say this right now. Psycho Clown, one of my faves in AAA, got Def Rebelled. His music, his AAA music is freaking awesome. It's reminds you of a clown. Weird, right?
Yeah.
This shit, I don't know what this shit was they gave him, but it was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. A lot of the AAA talent got Def Rebel. Dr. Wagner Jr. the third didn't get. He came out with his regular AAA music, which was good. Yeah.
He seemed like a star.
So, yeah, Dr. Wagner Jr. the third and Berto started off. They had a really good exchange. Then Psycho Clown came in. He was over with the crowd as well. He floored Angel with the scoop slam and then a kick to the head. We get a standoff between Psycho Clown, Berto and Angel that ended with the Clown dropping both men with the double German suplex. Pagano entered the ring in style with the double drop kick on Angel and Berto, but he tries for a tope suicida to the floor, and Escobar pulls Berto out of the ring, so Pagano goes splat with a gnarly landing on the floor. Legato then isolated him for a bit. Escobar tags in and traps Pagano in a rest hold, but the AAA stars turned the tide with the net breaker. Pagano pushed Escobar aside and tags in Psycho Clown, who comes in at like a house of fire. Psycho Clown hit a prone Angel with a drop kick in the corner and then a code red for 2. Wagner Jr. the third, he comes in and he took care of business with Legato caught on the outside. The AAA trio then bombard them with tope con hilos. We get the two teams squared off in the ring, and then a hockey fight broke off. As the dust settled, Wagner was caught in a double top rope press slam by the Los Garza. Psycho Clown then dropped Berto with the Psycho Driver on the apron. Angel took him out with a big moonsault dive to the outside, and then Pagano finally hit the tope suicida to the floor. Things broke down once more in the ring, and the action remained nonstop. A running spear from Berto took out everyone at ringside. Wagner snuck up on Escobar and hits a running knee, but he couldn't put the Legato leader away. Escobar is finally able to hit an impressive avalanche Hurricane Rata for a near fall, and then he recovered and hits the Phantom Driver for the 1-2-3. Good matchup here. I thought the last 5 minutes really picked up the quality. It started off fast and very fun, and then it slowed down a bit. It was very much like a US style trios matchup instead of like a lucha libre base. I think they were able to kind of balance it better with the first match than this match, but still a good matchup. I gave 3.5 stars. What did you think?
I agree with you about those takes. How cool is Psycho Clown's mask? If you've never seen Psycho Clown before, how cool is that mask? That mask is awesome. That was funny. He had the WWE logo on.
Yeah.
Pagano, this isn't really his Pagano style of match. Pagano needs to be out there having an effing brawl. He's a brawler more than he's into these, flippy matches. So he was a little out of his element here, but Santos delivered. They gave Santos the win. Like, you get in the pin, bro.
That's very rare. We see that.
Yo, we want you to interact with these guys. You want you to be a star in AAA. Good for him. That's a good win for him.
Yeah. Good shout by Mr. Bonda saying you're not gonna get any style points from Pagano here, but everything he does hurts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I enjoyed the first 6-man tag a little more.
Yeah, I agree. First 6-man tag was a little bit more high energy than this one. Then when the show really took up a level, as you get the NXT North American Championship matchup 4-way, Ethan Page making his first defense against AAA's Laredo Kid, NXT's Javon Evans, and SmackDown's Rey Fenix. Evans, Phoenix, and Laredo started off by taking out Ethan from the matchup. Laredo was sent out of the ring by Phoenix clothesline so he could square off with Evans. Evans and Phoenix started exchanging strikes, with the latter winding up with a springboard arm drag. Evans landed on his feet after a Hurricane Rana attempt before Page attacked both men. Laredo entered the fray and some wild action took on with all 4 men. I love the fact that they kept all 4 men in the ring a lot of the times here, which really added to the frenetic pace of this one. Evans took Page out with a sitting springboard Hurricane Rana as Phoenix answered with a kick that sent Evans outside. Laredo intercepted Phoenix's attempt at a dive as he then delivered a moonsault to Page and Evans on the outside. It took flight once again with Phoenix leaping over the top rope with a tope tornillo, taking all 3 men out. Inside the ring, Laredo fought Page on the top rope and got dropped with a slam from the NXT North American champion. Page then hits a smiling splash on Javon, which was awesome, where he did his pose at the same time. Laredo recovered. He got Phoenix with a Michinoku driver. The pace just picked up a notch like every step of the way, too. Laredo hits an amazing moonsault DDT on Phoenix. Evans then emerged and broke up the cover out of nowhere. Laredo headed up top, but Evans clipped his leg. Evans then took Page out with a clothesline, and then he soared with a dive on Page, sending him onto the announce table. Evans wasn't done as he hits a coast-to-coast foot kick on a prone Laredo Kid. Javon was on fire in this one. He hits the OG cutter on Phoenix, and he looks like he has the match won when Page recovers and breaks up Evans' count. Phoenix blasted Page with a tightrope kick, the Amigos kick, and then he hit the Phoenix driver on Evans, but Evans somehow kicked out at 2. Now, with all 4 men inside the ring, the pace picked up even more. On the top rope, Laredo and Evans had a scuffle, which was broken up by Page, who threw Phoenix onto the 2. Then we get an avalanche Spanish fly by Phoenix on Laredo, and that was soon followed up by Page hitting the Eagle's Edge on Phoenix. Evans then dove onto Page with a break up the cover as the fans were going crazy. He hit a 5-star frog splash. We get a crazy finish where Evans connects with the OG cutter on Laredo, but then he gets thrown out of the ring by All Ego. Then Ego puts away Laredo with the twisted grin. 1, 2, 3. All Ego Ethan Page retains the North American Championship. This was awesome. This was just a banger. The frenetic pace, everyone getting highlighted. Javon Evans looking like an absolute star. Ray Phoenix, he looked more alive than he has for most of his WWE run. Ethan Page was the great little kind of base for all the high flyers in this one. Laredo got his time where he was able to look good as well. But of course, it's Laredo Kid. So if you watch TNA wrestling, you know he was going to take the pin. So I laughed when it was him that took the pin in this one. But great matchup. I gave it 4.25 stars.
Yeah, Ethan Page wins, but I walk away from this saying that Javon Evans, my God, my goodness, he is freaking incredible. And he fits Lucha Libre like a glove. A glove. He fits naturally. It's like I want to send him to Triple Mania and have him ball out over there in front of the Mexican fans. That would be so cool for him. I would do that. I would 100% do that. Yeah. I'm blown away by Javon Evans. Blown away. He's out there in their home in AAA's show, and he's got his feet on the couch. Like, look at me. Yeah. I'm here. Look at me. Incredible.
Yo, he was awesome.
That boy bouncy.
That boy bouncy. Yeah, this is great. I
want to see him more in this environment. AAA.
Damn. Davion loved this match more than me. He went 4 3/4. God damn. All right.
It's a very enjoyable match, and I recommend watching it in Spanish if you want to watch it again.
Yeah, this was balls to the wall. All these guys delivered in this one. The young OG, he needs to be the guy who dethrones Ethan Page for the title.
That'd be good.
Seen enough. I've seen enough.
I want to see him in Triple Mania. Let him go hang out in Mexico.
Yeah. And then finally, we had the AAA Mega Campeón, El Hijo del Vikingo, defending against Chad Gable. Gable early on targeted Vikingo's ankle.
Vikingo's entrance.
I'm kind of used to that slow kind of theme song that he has. So it was weird hearing him come out to the WWE theme. I was like, I kind of like his slow. It makes him feel like a warrior coming to a war.
He's got that magic word that starts with an A.
Aura. He does. Gable targeted the ankle early on. We get a test of strength between the two men. They started off slow with more of a technical base to this matchup. We had like a little clunky moments, like Vikingo trying to do his like spring standing like pose in the corner, which Gable just had to watch him do it for a while, and that kind of stelted stuff. There was like some clunky stuff early on. Vikingo caught Gable in midair and got reversed as a series of exchanges happened. A drop kick by the Mega Champion, and then Vikingo followed with a Hurricane Rana and then a Meteora that sent Gable crashing to the floor below. This is where I think that the match kind of picked up a pace and went into second gear, is when Vikingo goes to the top rope and he delivers a standing 630 splash onto Gable's back. How did that not break this dude's back? Gable got the knees up at the last second to block Vikingo's shooting star press back in the ring. He then sends him into the steel steps. Gable pulled out a table from underneath the ring and he grabbed Vikingo looking for a German suplex through it, but Vikingo was able to escape. In the ring, Gable kept Vikingo grounded with punches and followed by a monkey flip from the corner. Vikingo blocked an abdominal stretch but couldn't block Gable's German suplex. We get a diving headbutt attempt but was reversed into a code red by Vikingo. Vikingo kicked Gable across the back and then a double foot stomp to Gable's prone body for a 2 count. On the apron, Vikingo kicked Gable before hitting a springboard 450 from the middle rope. He then followed up. He gets a modified gory special by Gable. Gable misses with the moonsault attempt, but then he's able to hit a gnarly looking avalanche awesome bomb from the top rope for a 1-2 kick out at 2.99. Vikingo stunned Gable with a drop kick. Then he hits a crazy looking Mexican destroyer on the apron with Gable landing straight on the top of the dome piece. Vikingo placed Gable on the table as the challenger recovered and then pushed him off. Gable instead places Vikingo on the table and he delivers a beautiful moonsault to the floor, crashing through the table. Both men are down on the floor. They managed to get back into the matchup by like 9 before the count of 10. They then mix it up with clubbering blows. Gable avoided a kick from Vikingo and then clenched in the ankle lock. Vikingo's able to escape, and then he gets a poison Rana. It's a Meteora in the corner, and then he finishes off Gable with the 630 1-2-3. Vikingo picks up the win to retain the AAA Mega Campeon. This was a fantastic matchup. They just went full throttle, like I said, from the 630 splash to the floor on. This picked up. It went to second gear, went to third gear, and then never let up. It was full throttle from there on out. I like the slow beginning, despite the clunky spots of it. It really helped kind of make the other things stand out in the matchup. And I thought Chad Gable was excellent in this matchup. He did all the small things very well, and he knew when to pick up the pace and go ham for the matchup when it needed to. And then Vikingo was an absolute star. He was showcased as the biggest star from AAA and really stood out as the next great high flyer of Lucha Libre in this one. And the big celebration post-match where all the baby faces, including Javon Evans and LWO, come out and celebrate Vikingo picking up the win in the main event. Like I said, excellent way to close out the show. Vikingo and Chad Gable probably had the best match of the weekend in either show. I give it 4.5 stars. What did you think?
Match of the day. Wow. I mean, imagine you're WWE casual. You're like, let me tune into the show, and I'm going to watch El Hijo del Vikingo for the first time ever. And that's like the first time you've ever seen him. You are freaking blown away. Like, holy shit. That AAA acquisition was worth it just for this alone. This guy. This is the guy. And I think there's only like two spots in this match where like I could critique really hardly, is because the one spot where Vikingo got caught up in the turnbuckle, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then the standing 630, I don't want to blame the guys. I probably blame the producer, the director. It's like he just had the camera on Chad Gable too long. It was like he's just standing there looking at him, waiting to get hit. It looked bad. But that being said, this match was freaking incredible. Chad Gable, whenever he sees a Mexican wrestler across the ring, this guy, his stats go up. He perks up. He's like, can't believe it. And then Vikingo, I don't blame him if he had a little nerves early on. Because this is a big spot. You're the main event. This is AAA and WWE, the start of the relationship. You're the guy. You are the guy of this company, AAA. You are representing them. You're representing Mexico. That's a lot of weight. You're also coming back from an injury. Let's not forget, this guy hurt his knee. He's still recovering from that. And this guy, I knew he was going to do it. It started a little slow. They built up. And this guy was vintage Vikingo. That is an incredible act to watch. That is what they're so excited about, making him the man in this company, the champ, the top honcho. Incredible. I think it's a WWE match of the year candidate, if not the match of the year. I enjoyed the hell out of it. That's to me, that was 5 stars. I'm sorry. For me, that was 5 stars. I loved the shit out of that. And it was a big stage, too, being the main event of this first time, Alliance acquisition show. It's a big spot. So, incredible. I need to see more Vikingo. I need to see more. When am I going to see it again? They were promoting this Triple Mania. They're not promoting Triple Mania that's next week. They're like, it exists. They were promoting the Triple Mania that's in August. I guess. Yeah. I wonder if that's like, okay, this is our AAA. What you're going to see next week is like, that's them wrapping up. I wonder.
Yeah.
You'll be interesting to see.
Undeniably a great match. I think that the only WWE matches that I would say are better, I think that the triple threat from WrestleMania is definitely my WWE match of the year. The TLC matchup from SmackDown with the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY is better than this and more stands out. And then KO and Sammy from Elimination Chamber. But this is definitely a top 4, top 5 WWE match of the year. These guys went out there and had an absolutely superb matchup. They in a big spot. I think this is probably the second best matchup that I've seen from Vikingo in the United States. Right behind the Kenny Omega match from Dynamite.
It did remind me of that match too. And Davion's got a suggestion in the chat. Woo! Give me that, baby. Sign me up. Let them fly.
That'd be great.
Right there. Oh shit.
That'd be great. And we got Will Chisholm who said this felt like Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. Good shout.
That was a lot of pressure on Vikingo, if you really think about it, to deliver in that spot and not really mess up. And he delivered. I was a little nervous about his knee at the end. I couldn't tell if he's selling or if he hurt it again, because he was grabbing his knee a lot towards that ending sequence. So I haven't heard anything about an injury. So
just selling. Okay. He was probably selling. Yeah.
I hope so, because we cannot have him hurt again at all. This guy is special, man. And his English is not that good, but he's got charisma. He's got this aura thing. Like, you could see it just looking at him. Yeah, he's got a good smile and everything. He's gonna be over as hell. It's gonna be interesting how they use him sparingly, because you want that guy for yourself. You don't want this guy at AAA. You want him in your roster.
They're gonna be taking him soon. Yeah. It's a wrap. Once his contract expires, they taking him up. It's like, yeah, we'll just take him.
Like, you're looking for like the next Rey Mysterio. You got all these luchadors. That's the guy. He's not a mass luchador, but he's something.
He's the next great high flyer for sure. But we've made it to the end of our WWE AAA Worlds Collide review. Let us know in the chat, what was your MVP, your LVP, your match of the night? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. And out of 10, what did you give this show? For me and Romeo, for WWE AAA Worlds Collide in 3, 2, 1. Big thumbs up. This exceeded my expectations big time. Romeo, out of 10, what did you give the show?
I'll give it like a 6.9.
Wow.
Listen,
You give
good.
Money in the Bank higher than this?
Yeah. I mean, because the first three matches, you know, they kind of, you know, skippable TV stuff. It's the last. I think
the last two matches are better than anything on Money in the Bank.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. But I'll just say, you know, you just got to watch the last two matches, really, if to anybody, if I'm recommending it.
I would say the first match, like I gave that 3 3/4. I think that match is worth watching, and then the last two matches are worth watching. I would give it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think that this is at least one score up from Money in the Bank. I think this was the better of the two shows yesterday.
I enjoy the hell out of those last two matches. Just the rest of the show is like, you know, skippable. That's all. But I'm not going to get in a big argument. If you want to give it a high score, that's fine by me. It's just
no, I guess gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm saying this is a show of the year. I see some people are giving it a 9. I was like, nah, that's a little too much in my book. I mean, I respect it. Heel was very high on the last two matches. I think he gave both the last two matches 5 stars. So I understand if he's going high for it. I just think it's a very fun show. An 8 out of 10. I wouldn't put it as like one of the best shows of the year, but it was a very fun show overall, and it basically gave a great introduction for Triple A to fans who probably haven't watched it before.
I agree with all that, and I like the videos they did throughout the show, like educating you on AAA and all that stuff. That was really good stuff.
Yeah, very agree. Who was your MVP?
I have a couple. Gable and Vikingo for sure. Javon and Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, probably gonna go co-MVP for Javon Evans and Mr. Iguana. Yep. And then LVP for the show, Romeo.
I had to go with the ladies at AAA, Tormenta and Dalis. It's just not all that great. They were the weakest part of the show.
I'll go with Dalis and Conan.
Damn.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? Can I say something?
Oh.
Can I say something? Can I say something, Romeo?
Do you really need to say something?
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Because
can I say something?
You've been saying something for 2 hours and 50 minutes now. Now you say?
Can I say something? But yes. And then match of the night, definitely the main event. Vikingo and Chad Gable.
Yep. And they had a tough act to follow. And they still topped it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. And now I understand. Heel says I'm a big Lucha fan, so a little bias here, probably.
Well, okay. You're happy with how things turned out.
Yeah. Nah, no, like I said, I respect anybody's opinions. Plus, you're not being a dick about it. You're just saying you're high on the show. You're not being like mean about it to anybody else. So I respect anybody's opinion. If you're higher on it than me, 100%, go for it. Go for it, and I respect it 100%. But we got some MVPs for Vikingo. MVP Bell was Vikingo, Gable, and Mr. Iguana. We got even Heel was like he thought Conan was great on commentary, in my opinion. I just found it. I got a kick out of him saying, "Can I say something?" like 100 times.
He was fine. He was informative. I just needed more energy. He sounded like an abuelo, like a grandpa on commentary. I needed someone younger with more energy. And, I can't expect Graves to do everything, do play-by-play and bring the energy. That's too tough to do at the same time. He needed a third person, someone, a hype man. And Conan can't do that at this age.
Very true. But we've made it to the end of our review of 2 huge shows. So we appreciate y'all for joining us live today. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up on the video. It helps us out so much. Comment down below if you're watching us on demand. Romeo, thank you as always for joining me, good sir. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they'll see you again.
Romeo Damas, all social media. And we'll be reviewing Raw Tuesday. Big Raw. Big Raw. Might have a new world champion. You don't know.
I don't know.
And I'm guessing I saw someone in the chat say Cena's gonna be on Raw.
Oh man. Oh man, that means Truth gonna be on Raw too. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, and that also means Seth with his briefcase. he got another option now.
He got two choices. He got two choices.
You better stay away from that briefcase, Cena. What are you doing? Do not be in the same building as that guy.
But yes, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. Check out yesterday's flagship podcast, the True Hill Heat 332, with myself and Miss Chrissy Love talking about last week's show, talking last week in wrestling, talking about the R-Truth fan resentment after his exit. And of course, we saw on last night's show what that led up to. And of course, Mariah May's debut in WWE, plus Fujita winning the Best of Super Juniors and everything that went down at AEW Fighter Fest. Check that out. Another fun episode from us here. Like Romeo said, we'll be live once again on Tuesday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Rated Raw Review, reviewing the big Monday Night Raw. We got a True Hill Heat cut dropping tomorrow here on the channel. And of course, we got a big week ahead with AEW Summer Blockbuster. So AE Ramble on Thursday will be live at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be previewing NJPW Dominion here on the channel this week. That will probably be on Friday, so join us live for that as well. But thank you so much to Romeo. Thank you to all of you in the chat. The conversation has been great. You guys have been awesome, and appreciate all the interaction that we got today. But for Romeo, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our WWE Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide 2025 review. We are signing off until next time.